Morgantown, West Virginia, home of the 2021 WVSSAC State Swimming Champions. Thank you for joining us right here live on Video Productions. Jack Whitler alongside my partner today from swimwv.co, Mr. James Miller. James, I was telling you before, other than the swimmers and the coaches, you may be the most excited to be here today.
Oh, I am super excited. I always love the state swim meet, and I'm just really excited to call and show how nerdy about swimming I am.
And we're going to believe that too, because you are very excited to be here, and so are we. A beautiful facility here inside the Aquatic Center at MYLAN Park, and this is the second year that the state swimming championships have been held inside the Aquatic Center.
That is correct, yes. It was held in the old pool, which had a lot of rustic charm. But now, because WVU was a Division I school and they're in a Big 12 school, they need a big, fancier facility, so here we are.
And it is quite fancy, and we are happy to be here and happy for everybody to be tuning in today for the state swimming championships. And, James, we want to talk real quick here before everything gets started. Favorite teams, the team's favorite today to win in this boys championship that will take place here this morning.
All right, well, hands down, the clear favorite is definitely George Washington boys. They have a chance to do something that's very rare. They have a chance to win no individual meets, no relay, have no state champions, but still win the state championship. And then Bridgeport has a very slim chance. Everything's got to go right for Bridgeport today for them to win the state championship. And then fighting for second place, you've got Wheeling Park, Jefferson, and Robert C. Byrd, who beat Bridgeport in Region 3.
With that, we'll step aside for the playing of the national anthem.
If it looks like an F-150, tows like an F-150, hauls like an F-150, thinks like an F-150, and powers like an F-150, it must be an F-150 hybrid. Introducing the all-new 2021 F-150 Power Boost Hybrid with 570 pound-feet of torque and 12,700 pounds of max available towing.
From the moment you walk into PostNet, we've got your back. From design and printing to shipping and more, whatever you need, we can help. We can bring your projects to life with advice and insight so you never feel like you're going it alone. Help you tackle everything in one place with a one-stop shop for everything from shipping a package to printing your big presentation. Save you time by not only getting the job done right, but also right on time. And all with exceptional PostNet customer service. We're more than just a place to get things done. We're your people.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Welcome back inside the Aquatic Center here at MYLAN Park in Morgantown, West Virginia for the 2021 WVSSAC State Swimming Championships presented by Video Productions. Jack Whitler alongside James Miller beside me. And you were talking about the favorite teams. Of course, in the COVID season that we've had, everything's all bunched up together. We got a late start, not till early March before sports started back up here in West Virginia. What kind of effect has that had on our swimmers this season?
Well, some swimmers choose to do track. They do a lot of spring sports, and so they may have chosen to do the spring sport and not do swimming.
Yep.
A lot of club teams, their club championships are around this time. And COVID specific, there are some teams that actually their best swimmers and their other swimmers had to be quarantined for regionals.
Right.
And that really affected. That's what happened to Bridgeport, and it happened to other teams as well. As soon as you get that message that says your swimmer's quarantined, there is not a thing you can do.
Not a thing you can do, exactly. So we talked about the favorite teams coming in earlier. Some of the individuals that we should take a look at here in this boys' championship this morning.
Oh, my goodness. There is one swimmer, and there's a couple, but there is one swimmer that is just amazing, and that is Bruce Keener. He is from Bridgeport High School. I think he might be able to break the backstroke record today, but he is way seated high over everybody else. We also have Henry Shields of Huntington High School. He also has a chance to win both of his events as well. And then we've got three people, three sprinters. One of them could be on the all-state team and win 2 events, and that's either going to be Owen Leary of Wheeling Park High School, Bradley Boyd of Hurricane High School, or Chris Turner of Jefferson High School. So those are the big ones that we have to look out for.
Got any dark horses today?
Yes, so like I said, I outlined how Bridgeport can win the state championship, and so they've got to hope that all 3 relays finish first. One of George Washington's relays has to finish 6th. Then they have to make sure that they get some help in the backstroke and the butterfly. If they can do those things, it is doable. It is very hard, but it is doable. Also, for Jefferson High School, it is doable for them to finish 2nd. They're a school in the Eastern Panhandle that won. The regionals was their first event. Secondly, they're a school that has never finished higher than 6th place in the state swim meet ever in school history. And Glenn Edwards, the coach at Jefferson High School, he's been coaching way before the state meet has been around. So this might be his best team ever that he has had at states.
So they started the state meet, the WVSSAC sanctioned state meet in 1999, correct?
That is correct.
So it's been going on since then. We've also got some records that we're looking at that could be broken later on this afternoon in the girls' competition as well. James, your favorite event at the state meet? My
favorite event, honestly, is the relays, obviously, but the 50-yard freestyle, there is nothing.
It's the sprint.
It's the sprint. It is the meet. If you are a football person, a basketball person, there is one event in the sport of swimming that you love the best, and that is the 50 free, because you understand it. It's up and back. It's like in the backyard.
It's bulldogging. It's straight. No technique. Let's just get after it.
That's right, and that's the beauty about the 50 and the 100-yard freestyles. A lot of coaches put their people that haven't been swimming all their lives, they put them in the 50 and the 100 because they understand that they just have to get to the wall and get back before everyone else.
Exactly. Coming up first in the 200-yard medley relay, and are at the starting blocks now, getting ready as we take a look at the first heat. Of course, one of 3 heats, and they're doing little things different here today. But we've got in lane 2, University, and lane 3 will be Capital. In lane 4 will be Parkersburg. Elkins in lane 5, Hurricane in lane 6, and East Fairmont in lane 7 to start things off. The fastest time coming in on this heat was Parkersburg at 1:59.59.
And these swimmers are so close. You have to watch out for the freestyle events at the end.
So the start of heat number 1 here in the 2021 WVSSAC State Swimming Championships. We are underway here inside MYLAN Park.
The beauty about the medley relay is that you never have the best backstroke, breaststroke, or butterflyer. Sometimes you've got one really good swimmer and one that you just really trying to cover up. So you really want to make sure you get out to the biggest lead you possibly can for your sprinter, your really major horse at the end of the race.
So in lane 3, Capital out ahead as they go into the breaststroke. And lane 2, University coming on strong. And a nice turn there in lane 2.
Oh, man. Look out. Look out, University. Look at that. They came to play. They were seated at 2:03.41. So they might be able to win this, and they might be able to get some points in the top 12. It all comes down to the butterfly. Can the butterflyer keep up?
So in the third leg, the butterfly, University still ahead in lane 2.
Oh, man, but the other 2 are catching up. It's going to depend on the walls. Oh, that wall. Oh, that wall might have cost University. He's really struggling. Oh, look.
Now we've got Parkersburg coming on strong in lane 4.
Now watch out. This is going to be it. The sprint freestylers at the end. This is where all the marbles come, right here.
Parkersburg with the length lead on Capital.
Look how close this is.
As they make the final turn and the push-off, Parkersburg in the lead. Capital in second.
Oh, but he's catching up. Look at that. Can he do it?
I don't think so. Parkersburg will win Heat 1 of the 200.
That was a good swim. And so far those times.
155.20 for Parkersburg.
Look out for that because that is actually seated higher than some of the seat times in the next heat. So that might get Parkersburg South some points, which they desperately need.
So we take a look at the replay here on that last leg, and Parkersburg coming on strong at the end. Not a good start for him, but
and that's
finishing at the wall. And again, that was 155.20 for Parkersburg. They come in with a 159 in regionals, so improving 4 seconds on their time.
And in the next heat, we want to watch out for Washington. They had some relay substitutions, so they're seated last in this particular heat, but they might be able to win this heat here today and maybe get like top points in the 7th or 8th places.
So in heat 2 of 3 of the 200-yard medley relay for the boys, Wheeling Central in lane 2, Buchanan Upshur in lane 3. In lane 4 will be Spring Mills, Cabell Midland in lane 5, Winfield in lane 6, and Washington in lane 7 as they are off. Here in the backstroke, the first leg of the 200 medley relay.
All right, Noah Segrist definitely is taking off. He's in Spring Mills. He's definitely taken a big lead here.
So at the turn, it is Spring Mills in lane 4. And they will touch with the lead.
All right, this is where you got to hope.
As the breaststroke portion of the 200 medley relay. Again, Spring Mills out in front in lane 4.
Look at, I think Cabell Midland might get them here on this turn.
Spring Mills qualified with a 154.56 in regionals. As Buchanan Upshur in lane 3, Cabell Midland to the right in lane 5. And again, the lead to Spring Mills
here
on the
it comes.
third leg,
look
and
at
that's
that
a good
start
there.
That start was great. Look at that beautiful butterfly form. This is great. He totally
lane 3.
He nailed that wall like he just, oh man.
Buchanan Upshur out in front by a length over Spring Mills and coming on strong.
Here it comes, and I think they might get this with the freestyle leg.
You got to watch Washington up there, up top.
Yep, I think they got it. I told you.
Again in lane 3, Buchanan Upshur at the turn. Washington up in lane.
What a comeback
7.
for Washington. Here it comes.
They're in third right now. Spring Mills in second. Buchanan Upshur will touch ahead of Spring Mills. And then Washington in third here in heat number 2. Exciting stuff so far here this morning.
Yes, it is. And what the good news is like I said, watch out for that heat. The previous heat, they did score 12th place points in this one. So that's why you said you race for the time and not just necessarily trying to beat your opponent, because they got a 155.20, which was good enough to finish 5th place in this heat.
So in the final heat 3, as we take a look at the replay of the finish in heat number 2 of this 200 medley relay.
And ladies and gentlemen, we might see a state meet record broken by Bridgeport High School in this one. They've got their Marcel Rodriguez. Oh, there's a replay.
Yep, we had the replay of the finish. And now we've got heat number 3. In lane 2 will be Parkersburg South. Lane 3, Wheeling Park. Lane 4 is George Washington. Lane 5, Bridgeport. Brooke in lane 6, and Jefferson in lane 7. George Washington, 142.49 coming in.
Oh, man.
And a good start in lane 5 of Bridgeport. They've got the lead at the first turn here in the backstroke.
That's Bruce Keener, like I was talking about. Look at how many body lengths he is ahead of everybody. I'm telling you, they are close to he already swam close to his time at regionals. Okay, there's Luke Penty, another really good Bridgeport swimmer. Notice, he's still keeping up the lead. Nobody is catching up to Bridgeport here today.
Bridgeport out to a length and a half lead in lane 5 as they'll touch for the third leg.
And remember,
in the butterfly, a big lead for Bridgeport. In second, George Washington in lane 4, followed by Wheeling Park.
All right. Bridgeport and George Washington are so far dominating this heat, but
a touch at the wall, final leg.
We want it to be 138.13. 138.13. That is the time for a state record, and it might happen. It's 125. They might do it.
Marcel Rodriguez.
Is trying. He is trying. Here it comes. 7 seconds. Can he do it?
And
Bridgeport just broke the state record.
A state record for Bridgeport High School. Marcel Rodriguez touches at the wall, and they win the 200-yard medley relay to start things off here in the morning session. And you called it. They put the sprinter in. And he is one that did not swim at regionals.
That is correct. So he unfortunately had to quarantine. So here he is. Look at this. Look at just
as smooth as can be on top of the water.
His body position is perfectly in line. He's just kicking. He's reaching. That is picture perfect swimming here.
We'll step aside real quick. We'll come back with the 2021 WVSSAC State Swimming Championships.
If it looks like an F-150, tows like an F-150, hauls like an F-150, thinks like an F-150, and powers like an F-150, it must be an F-150 hybrid. Introducing the all-new 2021 F-150 Power Boost Hybrid with 570 pound-feet of torque and 12,700 pounds of max available towing.
Welcome back inside the Aquatic Center here at MYLAN Park in Morgantown, West Virginia for the West Virginia State Swim Championships. Jack Withler alongside my partner, James Miller from Swim WV. An exciting finish there. We've already had a state record here this morning in the first event.
Yeah, 1 for 1. Wouldn't it be great if we went 18 for 18?
You and I talked last night. We had dinner last night, and you talked about the quality of swimming in West Virginia has just elevated here lately, especially in the girls.
Absolutely. The girls has just lately, they've been breaking state records like left and right. They have just been super great.
Well, maybe the boys heard you last night and said, okay, we're going to break the record here to start things off here in the morning session.
And I'll tell you, Bruce Keener has a chance of being one of the people that we talk about in future years, like Tim Squires and Tim Phillips and Chris Hadjadorn. There's a list of people that we still talk about in state swimming
there's
history.
A couple guys from South Charleston, my neck of the woods.
Austin Green, yes.
The Greens. So, yeah, hopefully we do see a lot of records being broken here today. The next event will be the boys' 200-yard freestyle.
And you're probably asking, why does it take so long to start the 200-yard freestyle? What people probably don't know is that you need, after a medley relay, so you cannot swim any event for 5 minutes. So like a swimmer needs to have a 5-minute break at least for every event. So if they swim in the 200-yard medley relay
and then they come back.
And they come back in the 200-yard freestyle, they still need about 5-minute time.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
I need about 5 minutes when I walk up these steps here inside the Aquatic Center.
Especially with the mask on, yes.
I mean, it's just a beautiful facility here. The diving well down to the left, as you can see on your screen. They have done a wonderful job. And like you talked about WVU in the Big 12 now and the swimming, they've already held the Big 12 championships here once.
Yes.
So I was talking to a few girls that swim for WVU here this morning. They were here at 5 o'clock this morning practicing, and it's their off season.
Oh, my gosh.
Of course, maybe they were here a little bit early because they knew that the state swim championships will be taking place today. But they were telling me, yeah, we've been here since 5 this morning swimming. Practice.
You would think, but most swimmers, that's like normal time.
Oh,
like
yeah.
If you're a club swimmer, you're getting up before everyone else, or you're practicing later than everyone else. You're getting up at like 4:30 in the morning, going to practice, and then going to school with wet hair. And usually it's cold outside, so you're hoping that you don't get a cold.
See, when I was in high school, they didn't have high school swimming. They just had club and summer. I did summer swimming every year. I grew up right next to a pool behind my parents' house, so I'm familiar with swimming, and I swam every summer. Of course, they didn't have it in high school, but I do remember getting up early in the morning and walking to the pool for practice, so yeah.
Now, what's the thing about the 200-yard freestyle, as we were just talking about in commercial?
Kind of like I compared it to an 800 run in track. You can't get out too quick, but you got to save some for the end.
Yes, and this is actually, it's a sneaky hard event because of that. So, like, you have to mentally tell yourself that you need to go out at about 90% to start out with. And then, so really how this is won is how fast you start.
Taking a look at Heat 1 here in the 200-yard freestyle. Heat 1 of 3 in lane 1 will be Jacob Rannenberg, Washington. Nick Barney in lane 2, Brooke. Wheeling Central's Joey Seacrest in lane 3. Lane 4, Joshua McPherson. Lane 5, Jackson Howe. Gage Matheny in lane 6. Mikey Meyer in lane 7. And Gray Miller in lane 8. Here in the first heat of 3 heats for the 200-yard freestyle.
Walls, walls, walls. That's the name of the 200-yard freestyle. You want to make sure that you have good walls because right after about 150, that's when you start getting really tired. And look at McPherson's walls. His walls are really good so far.
Lane 5 out in the lead. That's Jackson Howe of Robert C. Byrd. And he will touch and make the turn.
Look at how quick his legs flip off the wall. That's what you tell people to do every day in swimming. Flip as hard as you can, push off, get some good links.
And you were a swimmer as well. You swam at Hedgesville High School, didn't you?
I did, yes. I was an okay swimmer. He is still going. This is the tricky part. Once you get to between the 100 and the 150, that's when you're really feeling the 200. I was a 200 swimmer, so I understand. Okay. This is where it gets really tricky. It's easy to do quick walls on the after the 50 and after the 100. But it's not so easy on the 150. But look at the length that he has. He was not seated quite this far, so he is having one heck of a meet so far. Robert C. Byrd trying to prove that regionals wasn't just a one-time wonder for them.
So Jackson Howe still out in the lead here in heat number 1. In lane number 5, he's got a good lead, at least 2 lengths.
And so normally at the end, if you're a coach, you really want to see the legs a-kicking at the end. Look, you want to see the little bits of splash at the end. That's how you know that they're really sprinting at the end, when you see that nice little bubbles right behind as they float to the wall.
So Jackson Howe will touch well ahead of the competition here in
6-second drop. 6-second drop for Jackson Howe.
2:05.03 for Howe of Robert C. Byrd.
What What an amazing race. I don't know what the coaches told him before he came in, but he surely listened.
Qualified in regionals at 2:11.37. And again, finished here in heat number 1 at 2:05.03 to win the first heat. And you were telling me they take the top 12?
Top 12
places?
Yes. And so in previous...
Sets him up nicely.
In previous years, the top 12 got to come back and swim again.
Right,
so
right.
This year you just get a medal.
So heat 2 of 3 here in the 200-yard freestyle. Lane 1 will be Ethan Bryant of Wheeling Park. Wheeling Central's Kelly Rydell in lane 2. Lane 3, Morgan Miller of John Marshall. Lane 4, Adam Fubio of Robert C. Byrd. Lane 5, Caden Megan of Robert C. Byrd. Ethan Thorne in lane 6 of Hampshire. Weir's Ryan Spears in lane 7. And Ivan Looney Saunders from Elkins High School in lane 8. 2:04.32 coming in on the regional time for Adam Fubio in lane 4.
Let's hope that the Robert C. Byrd. See, Robert C. Byrd, the key to them getting second place in the state tournament is to attack the freestyle events. So Jackson Howell already did it. Can the other two in this event do it just as well? They don't quite have the commanding leads yet, but they could help Robert C. Byrd score some more points.
So in lane 4 and 5 are Robert C. Byrd swimmers. As tight race here in heat number 2.
This is going to be who wills it out at the end. Like I said, you want the sprint bubbles at the end.
And the turn is made. Lane 3 in the lead at the moment. That is Morgan Miller of John Marshall. He turned in a time of 2:05 in regionals.
Can they keep up? And you also want to make sure that you keep your head position down too, but he's looking. If I'm a coach, I'd be a little bit concerned that I'm looking over there, but he's definitely looking to make sure he's winning the heat, and he is.
Still in the lead.
But everyone's kind of catching up there.
Lane 4, 5, and 6, a tight race for second right now here in heat number 2.
All right.
Coming in on the touch and the turn.
Here it
Still
comes.
in the lead is Morgan Miller of John Marshall High School.
Here it is. Look at the bubbles. Like I'm talking about, look at the bubbles. They're coming. We don't see the bubbles from over Morgan Miller. I think they might be able to take the race. Look, they are catching up.
Lane 5 from Robert C. Byrd, Caden Megan.
All right, maybe. Oh.
And his teammate right neck and neck with him as they are trying to catch.
Oh, they might out-touch him. Look at this.
Morgan Miller, and he will out-touch the two swimmers of Robert C. Byrd. 2:02.60 for Morgan Miller.
And we want to watch out because that one might get them in the top 8. The 2:02.60 would actually put them seated 7th in the next heat.
Take a look at the replay here, and Robert C. Byrd swimmers coming on strong. But
they came on strong. Morgan Miller really held it out.
So you watch the touch at the wall here in heat number 2. Heat number 3, lane 1. Connor LaBombard of Jefferson High School. Ethan Metz in lane 2 of Parkersburg. Buchanan Upsher's Preston Bennett in lane 3. Lane 4, Henry Shells of Huntington High School. Frank McCutcheon of University in lane 5. Wesley St. Jean of George Washington in lane 6. Lake Embry in lane 7 of Morgantown High School. And in lane 8 from Parkersburg, Lucian Bumgardner.
All right.
The final heat of the boys' 200-yard freestyle. And the top time coming in will be Henry Shells of Huntington High School, 1:45.01.
He'll need to drop a lot of time if he wants to break the state record. But that was a very good start from Henry Shells. And see, what you notice in this heat that you don't notice in the other ones is that we saw the bubbles at the last 50. We see them taking a major sprint out right here.
Shells with a strong start as he is in the lead and making the turn. So he has established himself out front here in the final heat of the 200 freestyle.
Beautiful walls. He does the nice, tight, quick dolphins that you're looking for. Good about 5 or 6. That's very good. But look, he was seated 4 seconds higher, but Sometimes it doesn't matter what you're seated. It's the state tournament. Frank McCutcheon is gaining on him.
Henry Shells out front.
Oh man, it's getting close here. I don't know if I anticipated this race being as close.
Frank McCutcheon of University High School next to him in lane 5. In third place in lane 3, Preston Bennett of Buchanan Upshur.
And sometimes it's good. It looks like he has some length over top, and sometimes it's good to use your length if you're going against someone that's a little shorter than you are.
Got a 3-man race right here. It's Buchanan Upshur in lane 3 trying to come on. That is Preston Bennett.
Frank McCutcheon might do this.
So in lane 4 at the turn.
Oh, man, here it
Henry
is.
Shells in lane 5.
Oh, man.
Frank McCutcheon. Shells trying to hold off McCutcheon here at the end. McCutcheon coming
look
on.
at the reach.
Strong, but Shells will out-touch him.
Like I said, a lot closer than what it was seated. That is a 4-second drop from Frank McCutcheon.
144.50 for Henry Shells.
All right, look at the – now here's where we're trying to score some points here. Jefferson really needs it, and the 5th place finish for Jefferson really could help them out. So they got a 6th place finish, but that's still higher than what they were seated. So
144.50 for Henry Shells of Huntington High School. He'll take the state championship in the 200-yard freestyle.
Frank McCutcheon did give him a good race, though, so that was a...
So an excellent race by those. Well, we had really a 3-man race there at the end.
Yes, at the very end.
Able to hold them off for the victory.
It's the last 50 is like, how are we going to get there? And the thing about Buchanan Upshur that I talked to with their coach, they don't wear tech suits until the state tournament. So you're going to see a lot of their times be quicker because you want to they get a different feel for the meet whenever they put the tech suit on. They get a different feel, and they don't usually wear them. A lot of teams usually wear them for regionals. Buchanan Upshur does not wear them for regionals. They just wear them for states.
So we'll take a quick break, and we'll return to the 2021 WVSSAC State Swimming Championships here at the Aquatic Center in Morgantown, West Virginia. Up next, the boys 200 IM right here on Video Productions. Boys 200-yard IM, heat 1 of 3. Corbin Peters in lane 1, Will Raines in lane 2, Jacob Donnelly in lane 3, Ricardo Valentine with the top time from Musselman in lane 4, Connor Herforth in lane 5, Thomas Olenek in lane 6, Will Angus in lane 7, and Zach Fosgraf from Jefferson High School in lane 8. Heat 1 of 3 of the 200-yard IM.
Like I said, and this
looks like another tough event here.
This one's a very tough event because you have a strong stroke and you have a weak stroke usually. And so you're trying to make sure you attack your strong stroke, and you need to just do your weak stroke good enough.
Good enough.
Yes. And so here we go. And you want to really reach with the backstroke. That's the really key. If you're going to do like a 200 or 400 IM, the backstroke is all about how much reach you can get.
So in lane 7, the leader, Will Angus of Grafton.
And it's all about the kicking, too. You got to keep kicking throughout the whole time.
As he will touch and make the turn into the breaststroke portion of the IM. This is one event that I never swam. I was good at the butterfly and the freestyle. I mean, I was a sprinter. Not much of an endurance guy, but never did try to tackle the IM.
It's really tough. I had a swimmer once. He was a basketball player, and he said to me, what is the hardest event? And he never swam before. What is the hardest event in swimming? And he said, and I told him it's the 200-yard IM. And he said, I'm going to go to states in the 200-yard IM. And wouldn't you know it, he actually did. I love basketball players when they come out for the swim teams. Look at Ricardo Valentine. He really took it out on the breaststroke. He was tied for everybody, and then suddenly on his breaststroke leg, he took it out. And look at him. He is He came here ready to play. He wants a medal, I think.
So in lane 4 from Musselman High School, Ricardo Valentin with a comfortable lead as he makes the turn.
And you can always tell who's tired. Like I said, you guys are going to get sick of me with the bubbles. But look at the bubbles. Look at the bath bubbles. If you have the bath bubbles, it could mean two things. It could mean you took it out not hard enough and you left too much at the end.
Right.
Or you're really super pushing it. What a good time by Ricardo Valentin.
Coming in.
That was a second drop.
He'll win the heat number 1.
And it looks like he was the only one in that heat to drop time. So that's a good news for Ricardo Valentin.
So he did drop his time from his regionals at 2:21.82 for Valentin to win heat number 1. As we take a look at heat number 2 of 3 here in the 200-yard IM for the boys. Lane number 1, Leif Potters from George Washington High School. John Francis in lane 2 from Brooke High School. Bridgeport's Reese Allen in lane 3. Aiden Riley of Sissonville High School in lane 4. Garrett Colvin from Parkersburg in lane 5. In lane 6, Ian Sasson from Parkersburg High School. Elkins High School's Austin Wetzel in lane 7. And in lane 8, Anthony Ott from Parkersburg South High School.
And if Bridgeport's going to do anything, they really need Reese Allen to win this one and score some points in the next heat.
Sissonville's Aiden Riley in lane 4 with a top time in this heat with 2:16.32 in regionals.
All right.
Good start.
It's a good start.
In lane 3 and lane 5. Lane 5,
Garrett
Colvin from Parkersburg.
And Parkersburg's got a nice young team. They don't have very many seniors. I think Garrett Colvin might be the only senior they have. I don't have that in front of me, but most of the people in Parkersburg, they're going to be a name that's going to be known in the future years of the state swim meet.
So now coming on strong in lane 3 as he'll touch ahead at the turn. That is Reese Allen of Bridgeport High School.
He's definitely taking the lead. I know the other ones he's owning the backstroke, so let's see if he can keep that up for the breaststroke. He's got almost a full body length.
As he'll touch and enter the breaststroke portion of the IM.
And usually at the breaststroke, you want to see how far you can get on the turn. It's really kind of, you want to do, for breaststroke, you kind of almost want to do less breaststroke and more turn. You want to stay underwater for as long as you can. But look at him go. He must have listened to me whenever I told him he really needed to win this heat.
Reese Allen gliding through the water right now ahead of everybody else in heat number 2 in lane number 3 from Bridgeport High School.
All right, but watch out for Leif Potters of George Washington. Also, George, what I've always found fascinating is the teams that are going for the top 5. They always manage ways to drop time in all of their events. Look at Leif Potters. He's coming on strong for the number 2 spot. It looks like Reese Allen really did listen to me, and he might actually score some points in the next heat.
And then Potter's coming on in lane number 1 on the bottom of your screen. He'll make the turn, but well out in front in lane 3 is Reese Allen of Bridgeport High School as he will win heat number 2. And
that is a 7-second drop.
Potter's coming in, touching the wall in second place. And then Parkersburg's Garrett Colvin in lane 5 in third. So
I'm telling you, I released a podcast earlier this morning that detailed how Bridgeport could win it. And I talked about the 200-yard IM and how that they needed to score some more points, the 200 IM, for their state championship meet. So they might have scored enough here. Look at that time, 2:11.16. That could be a 4th place time, which they were not even close to seeded 4th. So they might have been listening to Swim WV whenever I gave them some pointers before the meet started.
Heat number 3 coming up, the 200-yard IM for the boys. In lane 1 from Morgantown, Preston Householder. Charleston Catholic in lane 2 with Matthew Smith, Luke Penty from Bridgeport High School. Bruce Keener in lane 4 from Bridgeport High School. Spring Mills in lane 5 with Noah Segrist. Grant Ridenauer from George Washington High School in lane 6. Nick Lugo in lane 7 from Jefferson High School. In lane 8, Cardi Ramsey from Parkersburg High School. The top time coming in from regionals, 156.83 from Bridgeport's Bruce Keener. He is in lane 4.
And look at that.
What a start.
Look at that start.
Stayed underwater for more than half of.
That's what you're trying to do for butterfly. Let's watch his turn. Can he do that on the butterfly turn? Look, he takes about 10 strokes, and 10 strokes keeps him right at the middle of the pool. That is textbook. That is what you want as a coach.
Bruce Keener touches at the end of the butterfly, going into the backstroke portion of the 200 IM.
The backstroke is where he's strong at, so that's where he's really going to set it aside here.
And he is looking good here in the backstroke as well as he stays underwater and then pops up with a smooth stroke to lead the pack.
Now we also want Luke Penty here. So Luke Penty, that's also who we're looking out for. Bridgeport really needs him to really step on strong. He's not quite at the second place, but they really need him to finish second here to get some points.
Penny in the third lane.
But he's a breaststroker, so watch him come out strong. He is seated first in the breaststroke, so this might be where he makes up the ground. Look at him go.
Like you said, you gotta balance your weaker stroke with your stronger stroke. You just got to get through that weak stroke, but then pour it on your much stronger. And that's what he has done. And way out in front in lane 4, Bruce Keener of Bridgeport High School.
All right, Luke Penty still coming on strong. It's now who wants it more in the 200-yard IM. Which one of these 4 wants it more? And I'm telling you, Luke Penty might want it just so Bridgeport can win. But look at him come. He may not get it.
Up in lane 6, Grant Ridenour of George Washington High School, as Keener will touch ahead of everyone in a battle in lane 5 and 6.
Grant Ridenour.
And lane 6 will be second place. That is Grant Ridenour of George Washington High School.
And what's really good is it looks like Reese Allen from the previous heat, what was his time? 2:11.16. He was actually 8th place in this one, so that helped it out.
So 153.99 for Bridgeport High School's Bruce Keener as we watch him touch ahead of the pack, and a nice race for Keener there.
He's just so smooth in the water.
So we'll step aside and we'll come back. We'll have the boys 100-yard butterfly. We're watching the 2021 WVSSAC State Swimming Championships right here on Video Productions. Town, West Virginia, 2021 WVSSAC State Swimming Championships. Jack Withrow, alongside my partner from Swim WV, Mr. James Miller. Exciting times here so far in the first few races, and coming up, this is probably my favorite because this is a sprint, down and back, and that's it. Just get in the water, bulldog it down through there, straight line back.
And what you're trying to do here is you're trying to get as far of a start as you can. It's all in the start. There's 2 things that you really got to nail in the 50. There's 3. Guts, that's 1. And then you got to make sure your start gets you as far as you can, and your wall. You cannot mess up that wall over there. If you mess up the wall,
make a good turn.
If you mess up the wall, it's over. Many races are won or lost in the 50-yard freestyle on the wall. You can make up after a start, but a poor wall, you cannot make it up.
One of three events, or one of three heats, in lane one in heat one from Washington High School, Spencer Lefebvre. Lane two from Notre Dame will be Christopher Schumacher. Lane three from George Washington, Adam Keefe. Nathan Romer from Martinsburg High School. In lane four, Jacob Rannenberg from Washington High School. In lane five, Will Raines. In lane six from St. Albans High School, Buchanan Upsher's Reese Leonard. In lane seven, and in lane eight from South Charleston High School, Bill Triplett. Here in heat one of three of the boys 50-yard freestyle. And of course, we'll have the girls later today, this afternoon. That gets started at 3 o'clock here inside a beautiful aquatic center here at MYLAN Park.
All right, here we go. My favorite part is the 50 freestyle cloud. If all of them are right by the cloud, you'll see a big old cloud as they go by.
They were set to start heat one of three, 50-yard freestyle.
Here it comes. How fast can we go? Lots of water moving.
Out front to begin with in lane three is Keith Adams of George Washington High School. Adams still in the lead in lane three.
Notice the name you just said there, George Washington. When you're trying to win a state championship, even heat three, even heat three matters. Yes, 24:39.
Keith Adams.
He dropped a whole second in the 50-yard freestyle, which is not something you normally do. Usually you drop like a 10th of a second, a 20th of a second. Look at this. Look at how hard that he comes on strong. Just gutting his way to a 24:39. He might be able to get a top 12. Again, it's all about how many little points that you can, because George Washington may not have anyone score win a state championship, but they can nickel and dime their points to get there.
Heat number two of three here in the 50-yard freestyle. In lane one from Pikeview, Griffin Biggs. Jacob Lee in lane two of Cabell Midland High School. Spring Mills, Lucas Driver in lane three. Jackson Dirth in lane four, Parkersburg South. Fairmont Seniors, Grant Broadhurst in lane five. Caden Oldenjeko, I think I said that right, from Wheeling Central. Hedgesville's Caden Thomas in lane seven. Schaefer Amos from Winfield High School in lane eight. And we're off here in heat number two.
All right, look at Jackson
four.
Dirth, Parkersburg South. They're usually a pretty good sprinting school, so it doesn't surprise me. Look at how
Dirth in
look
lane
at that
four.
turn. Like I said, the turn is what really gets you. If it wasn't for that great turn, he would not finish a full body's length ahead of everybody. A 22.86 might get him a fourth place finish. Parkersburg South always has really good sprinters usually.
Jackson Dirth of Parkersburg South High School.
Watch this turn. What a quick turn, quick wall. And he noticed how far he is right off the turn. What an amazing turn. What an amazing way to get yourself in like the fourth or fifth place in a medal round. Good job.
Held off Caden Thomas of Hedgesville High School up in lane seven. Here in heat three, lane one, Luke Atkins, Huntington, Isaac McCabe in lane two, Wheeling Park. Jefferson's Chris Turner in lane three, Wheeling Park's Owen Leary in lane four. Hurricanes Bradley Boyd in lane five. Jacob Howe of Robert C. Byrd in lane six. Lane seven, Sam Squires of Buchanan Upshur. Lane eight, Abram Bias of Winfield. We're all
right,
here.
It's the start.
Heat three.
All right, here it comes. Looks like Chris Turner. Oh, my goodness.
Lane four and five is tight at the turn.
Oh, look at that turn. Bradley Boyd, coach's son. Coach's son's going to do it.
Bradley Boyd of Hurricane.
Bradley Boyd. Oh, what a turn.
As we look.
1/100th of a second.
Oh, my goodness. Wheeling Parks. Owen Leary out touches Bradley Boyd at the wall. 21:74 to win it. Wow.
Whoa, what a finish.
Take a look at this replay.
Take a look. He was leading. Bradley Boyd was leading the whole time. But like I said, it's all about guts.
Lane four and five.
And here comes Owen Leary. Here he comes. Their arms are touched. And then watch underneath. He just gets there. Outgutted. That's what you're trying to do. That's why everyone loves the 50-yard freestyle, because you can just outgut somebody. And that's exactly what Owen Leary did. And I'm sure Bradley Boyd's dad's going to tell him, don't let that happen again in the 100-yard freestyle.
21:74, the winning time for Wheeling Park's Owen Leary. He wins the 50-yard freestyle championship. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more action here inside the Aquatic Center at MYLAN Park in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Hey man, I really appreciate that Patrick Price on my insurance, Jake from State Farm. Being a champ has its perks.
Here's the deal, Patrick. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Let me repay the favor with some field passes, come on.
No favors, just great rates.
Okay, fine. I'll let you wear the ring, but only for a day.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
If it looks like an F-150, tows like an F-150, hauls like an F-150, thinks like an F-150, and powers like an F-150, it must be an F-150 hybrid. Introducing the all-new 2021 F-150 Power Boost Hybrid with 570 pound-feet of torque and 12,700 pounds of max available towing.
First set of wheels didn't come with complications or strings or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
Welcome back inside the Aquatic Center at MYLAN Park in Morgantown, West Virginia for the 2021 West Virginia State Swimming Championships presented by Video Productions. Jack Withrow alongside James Miller of Swim WV. We've had 4 events down, very exciting events, and starting the 5th event of the morning session for the boys in the 100-yard butterfly.
We can't forget who the outstanding official was.
Oh, yep, they recognized Heather Doyle as the outstanding official for this year in West Virginia, and she comes from the Eastern Panhandle.
Yep, and actually she was, believe it or not, one of my former swim moms.
Okay.
So I had her daughter on my swim team.
They said that she started in swimming when her daughter started at 5 years old, and she has just stuck with it.
Yes,
So,
really nice lady. I really like Heather Doyle, and I got to coach her daughter. So
a good recognition there for the outstanding official of the year in Heather Doyle. One of 3 heats for the 100-yard butterfly, and heat number 1, lane 1, Max Hill of Wheeling Park, Doddridge County's Caden Smith, Morgantown Carter Rattleman in lane 3, Ricardo Valentine in lane 4. From Musselman, Parkersburg's Cardi Ramsey in lane 5, Mikey Meyer in lane 6 of Parkersburg South, Philip Barber, Jaden Starks in lane 7, and Elkins Braxton Keeney in lane 8.
this is an important event for the state title, but not necessarily this heat, but this is an important heat. Look at how close everybody is on the butterfly. We've got Adam Keith again from Georgia. Oh no, not Adam Keith. I'm on the wrong heat. Carter Rattleman, sorry. Carter Rattleman was there. Look how close they are. This is the thing about the butterfly. It's just usually everyone's pretty close, pretty tightly bound. It's not quite like the freestyle where you could just outgun somebody at the end. This is a tough race on your arms.
Morgantown's Carter Rattleman in the lead, just barely in lane 3 over lane 5.
Oh, wait, but look.
Cardi Ramsey of Parkersburg coming on, and now he takes the lead. So Ramsey in lane 5.
But look at this finish for second. This finish for second is going to be really close.
And I believe in lane 3,
Carter Rattleman did get that.
out touching Ricardo Valentine.
All right, and then we've got Then we got this race. They can't see each other. Oh, here we go. And look at the touch. Look at the touch. And as we can see, who stretches out. It's a nice stretch out. They just right beside each other. But both of them drop time. We got 1 minute, so pay attention to the 1 minute time.
So 1 minute, 0.12 for the winner of the heat. And Redelman of Morgantown.
And again, the key to the butterfly is we want to dolphin as much as we can. Less butterfly, the better.
Heat 2 of 3 in lane 1 from Washington. 80. Luke Anger from Elkins in lane 2. Josh Thomason in lane 3 of Washington Capitals. Colton Hoffman in lane 4. Brook High School's John Francis in lane 5. In lane 6, Brandon Workman of Cabell Midland. Hurricanes Will Buchanan in lane 7. Landon Fowler of Parkersburg South in lane 8.
That was a great start by Josh Thomason of Washington. Look at how close look at how close all three of them touch the wall. You can almost draw a line here, and they would all be right on that line. They're still right there, neck to neck.
At the midway point.
And the wall, look, I think they're going to get it just off the wall. And then Thomason, notice how many dolphins he did off the wall. That's what kind of got him the little lead here. If he can do that again on this wall, he will win this heat.
Thomason in lane 3 of Washington Capitals. Colton Hoffman in lane 4.
Here he comes. Here he comes. All right, now it's a head position battle. It's got to make sure we finish it. Oh, look at this race. Look at this race.
And it's going to be in lane 4, Colton Hoffman of Capitol High School.
Just all he needed was just to stretch out a little bit more. But notice some of those times in the previous heat. Did beat a couple of those times in this one. So I believe
57:45 for Colton Hoffman. As we take a look at the end of this replay, a tight finish.
Oh man,
the wall.
And you could just see if only he would instead of trying to dive down, if he would have just reached and stretched, he would have gotten there.
Coming up in heat 3 of the 100-yard butterfly in lane 1 from University High School, Zach Ribas. Jefferson in lane 2 with Nick Lugo. Noah Segrist from Spring Mills in lane 3. Henry Shields from Huntington High School in lane 4. Mason Tichenall from Bridgeport High School in lane 5. Landon Bostick from George Washington in lane 6. In lane 7, Zachary Grove from George Washington High School. And in lane 8, Caden Aldrinjo. I think I've got that right, from Wheeling Central. I've struggled with that one.
Here we go. Look at that jump that Henry Shields got.
Shields out in front.
All right, again, this is the one.
First 25, he touches and makes the turn in the lead. In lane 4 is Shields from Huntington High School.
And this is where I was talking about in lane 6 and 7. The George Washington people might be coming on strong, Bostage and Grow. But look at Shields go. He's reaching. He's keeping his pace up. That's kind of the key.
Shields will touch one more time. A linked lead as he makes the turn and brings it home here in the 100-yard butterfly for the boys. It's Shields.
Oh, this is going to be a race for second. It's going to be a race for second. Watch
Lanes
second
3
place.
and 4.
Oh, Ed.
And it looks like in lane 3, Noah Segrist of Spring Mills will out-touch Mason Tichenall of Bridgeport.
What a close race. And let's look at the finish here. Let's look at it. They're reaching out, and look at that stretch at the end. That's what got him there. That's what got Segrist the second from the Eastern Panhandle.
51-11, the winning time for Huntington High School's Henry Shields to win the state title in the 100-yard butterfly.
And that's a 2-second drop from Segrist from his 100-yard butterfly time. So that's also a very good time as well.
So with that event, the 100-yard butterfly, will move on to the 100-yard freestyle event. Much like the 50, this is kind of a sprint event, a little bit longer, of course, but this should be exciting as well.
It's always really close. Again, this usually has a really mix of people that have been swimming forever, and then really tall athletic people usually really excel at the 50 and the 100-yard freestyle. So that's usually what we get. And a lot of these people that you'll see are the anchors of the races that you'll see coming up.
So in heat number 1, lane number 1 from Hampshire High School, Ethan Thorne, Rice Leonard from Buchanan Upshur in lane 2. Lane 3, Caleb Soule from Morgantown High School. Pike View's Griffin Biggs in lane 4. Caden Megan in lane 5 from Robert C. Byrd. Jefferson's Justin Gottlieb in lane 6. Lane 7, Nathan Romer from Martinsburg High School. And in lane 8, Spencer Lefebvre from Washington High School. Heat will be in lane 4, Pike View's Griffin Biggs with a 55.86 in regionals.
And if we're looking at this, the seed time, so from first place it's 55.86, and from last place it's 56.78. That's 1 second. And so 1 second, and just a normal thing is very, very quick. But in swimming, you could definitely tell a difference in 1 second. But everyone's going to be right close in this one.
So this is coming up the 100-yard freestyle, and again, winning that 100-yard butterfly. In the boys, the state champion is Huntington High's Henry Shields with a time of 51.11 for the state title.
And just so you're aware, just a fun little factoid from Swim WV, Henry Shields, 51.11, is actually the 7th best 100-yard butterfly time in the state of West Virginia since we've had the state swim meet. So that's a pretty good swim by Henry Shields.
So it puts him just behind Todd McGraw of Woodrow Wilson with a 50.93 set back in 2006. Of course, the state record from Tim Phillips in 2009 from Parkersburg High School, 47.61.
Yes, and
It'd be hard to touch.
It is pretty tough. Now, I will say, and if I remember correctly, and I am in no way saying that this wasn't anything, but that was also the time when you actually had full body suits. So Tim Phillips did actually set that. He was also a really good swimmer. He would have been fine without the full body suit, but that was also set back in the time when Phelps won his gold medal, and everybody had the full body suits that just every record was shattered at the Olympics that year whenever they had those.
So the 100-yard freestyle, the state record, is held by Tim Squires back in 2010 from Buchanan Upshur. 45.31 is the state record.
And his brother, Will Squires, is the coach of Buchanan Upshur this year. And we did talk about on my podcast, we talked about the time that Will Squires beat his brother Tim Squires in the 50-yard freestyle his senior year in the senior year at the state championship meet by 0.03 of a second.
You never want to get beat by a sibling. I had 2 older brothers. I never wanted to get beat by them in anything, and vice versa. So I'm sure when they got home, they ribbed each other on that one.
We also said, and he also the bigger brother Tim Squires was like, "I'm going to get you the 100-yard freestyle," and he did. But they swam in the relays together, so that's also really fun. So, but the cool is he beat him, and then he got in the relay right after.
You were talking about tech suits and the full body suits earlier. Explain to everybody what is going on there.
So a tech suit, basically, it's designed to keep you buoyant. Okay, so water also bounces off of it. Believe it or not, as strange as it sounds, tech suits are actually waterproof. And they actually come. So when they come in the box, they are about 3 or 4 sizes smaller than what a normal suit is. So sometimes you actually have to have somebody in the locker room help you put it on because it is so tight that you do that. You don't wear them very often. You wear them for championship meets. They're only designed for about 5 or 6 meets total. And after 5 or 6 meets total, they won't last after that.
So we'll get started here in the 100-yard freestyle, heat number 1. Again, the top time coming in on this heat is Pike View's Griffin Biggs. He's in lane 4, 55.86 as we are underway here in heat number 1 of 3. And in lane 4, out in front is Biggs to start things off in the first 25 yards at the touch.
All right. Here he comes. He's accelerating in. He's keeping his body long. That's kind of what you're looking for. He's keeping a good pace.
Yeah, They'll make the turn. Still out in the lead by a half a length. In lane 4 is Biggs.
Yeah, he's still there, but
coming on up in lane 1.
Is he still going to make it past the turn? Oh, wait for it. It might come.
Ethan Thorne in lane 1 up top,
yes,
from Hampshire High School.
Oh, man. And really,
Thorne in lane 1. Biggs
lane 1.
in lane 4, and it's going to be tight.
Oh, it was close.
As we look at the board.
All right, let's see if we can. What a tight race, and you can never see. So usually you can. All right, let's look at the replay here. Look at how close, arm for arm, right beside each other, arm for arm, and then look at Ethan Thorne at the end. He just barely finished short of it, but what a race.
I apologize. That was not Ethan Thorne. I got it backwards. It was Washington's Spencer Lefebvre up in lane 8.
Okay. And I was just going with you.
I know you were. I know. And I apologize to everybody, especially Spencer Lefebvre. So we got heat number 2 here in the 100-yard freestyle. Jackson Dirth in lane 1 from Parkersburg South. Elkins Austin Wetzel in lane 2. Jacob Lee in lane 3 of Cabell Midland. Fairmont Senior is Grant Rodgers in lane 4. Bryant Go from Notre Dame University. Zach Ribas in lane 6. Ethan Metz in lane 7 of Parkersburg. And Winfield's Schaefer Amos in lane 8.
Jackson Dirth, look at him go. He did this in the 50-yard freestyle earlier. He totally beat expectations. Look, he's almost a full body length ahead of everybody. He had one heck of a start. Now look at the line of second place. Everybody, If there's a line, it's like everybody is carrying for second place. But look at Jackson Dirth. He took that out really strong.
Parkersburg's Jackson Dirth out in front in lane number 1.
He's going for it. He's going for a medal. He's slowing down a little bit. I can tell he's getting tired, but he took a major turn. But watch second place. Look at second, third.
Second place in lane 4, Grant Broadhurst of Fairmont Senior. But Jackson Dirth from Parkersburg South will out-touch everybody here in heat number 2. 51.83 on the board for Dirth.
And that would put him in 7th place. Just off the seed times. That would put him in 7th place. So let's watch out for that. What a good swim. I don't know what the coach told Jackson Dirth, but, man, he surely listened because he dropped plenty of time in the 50-yard freestyle and he dropped plenty of time in the 100-yard freestyle. So kudos to the coach at Parkersburg South.
Heat number 3, lane 1, Abram Bias of Winfield High School. Lane 2, Robert C. Birds, Patrick Fubio. Ian Adler in lane 3 of George Washington. Wheeling Parks, Owen Leary in lane 4. Bradley Boyd in lane 5 of Hurricane. We've seen those two before. Jefferson's Chris Turner in lane 6. Robert C. Burrs, Jacob Howe in lane 7. Luke Atkins in lane 8 of Huntington.
Will Bradley Boyd, will he get out touched again? Let's see.
Looking
That's
for
close.
redemption.
He's looking for redemption. If he was watching the podcast, he knows. He knows I already told him. Look at him go.
Lane 4 and 3. Lane 5, tight.
This is tight all throughout. And I knew it was going to be tight.
As lane 3's
look at this.
Ian Adler of George Washington High School barely in front.
All right, it's all in the turn. It's all in the last
Leary
25.
In lane 4. And
all
now
right.
Leary with
Here
the
we
turn.
go.
And
what
coming
a turn.
home
What
here
a turn
in the
for Owen Leary.
100-yard freestyle.
Oh, but Bradley Boyd. Oh, my goodness gracious, though. Look at Ian
Leary.
Owen Leary just did it. And Ian Adler really needed that for George Washington.
47-68 for Owen Leary of Wheeling Park.
What? Look at this finish. Look at that turn. They're coming off the turn. Look at how close they are. They're reaching. They're stretching. They are neck to neck. They are watching each other. They are like, I'm going to beat you. They're really grinding. And look at Owen Leary just with the fingernail. Just with the fingernail getting it. What a great swim. Owen Leary winning the 50 free and the 100-yard freestyle.
So Owen Leary out-touching Ian Adler of George Washington High School and Hurricanes Bradley Boyd to win the 100-yard freestyle state championship.
And Owen Leary did set some records in regionals last week. So he took that momentum and he really took it to that race. What a good swim. Ian Adler of George Washington, he really helped out their calls by finishing second. That was kind of a surprise. So, I mean, not a major surprise, but it was something that they absolutely needed. So
up next, we go for a little bit of a sprint to some endurance with the 500-yard freestyle. This is your favorite event, isn't it?
That's right. I actually did swim
you
this
did
one.
Swim this.
I
You
did
told
swim
me
this
that.
one, yes. So this one, you just have to make sure that you set a good pace. It's definitely not a sprint, but you definitely don't want to go too slow. And it's really all about how you start it out, because that's what the pace you do. Now you'll see people on the timers, you'll see people here doing the counters
on the turn wall.
On the turn wall. They'll do all sorts of crazy things. They'll wiggle it sideways, and there's supposedly a code. If you wiggle it sideways, that means you're like falling behind, or if you wiggle it up and down, you're in the lead.
So they got their own signs, kind of like baseball.
Yeah,
Hey, pick it up. We're doing this. You got to do something else. Let's go.
Yes, but most of the time they lie. Okay, the coach always tells you to lie. They tell you whichever way that says you're behind, so you swim faster. That's how they do it.
Yeah, you could be 2 lengths ahead, and they're going to tell you you're behind by 2. So,
and also the key for the timer. So if you are the lap counter, you got to make sure that you don't put 19. For those of you that have never seen it, you see 19 at the end. You never want to put 19 because you want to put the big red, because you swim so many laps in the 500-yard freestyle. You need someone to put the red in to say make sure that you stop.
And here's where I know I'm not going to swim this event, because if you have to keep count of how many laps you're on, that's not for me.
Yes.
And like I told you earlier, I was a sprint guy. I was in and out as quick as possible. But we've got coming up the 500-yard freestyle here for the boys. In heat number 1, lane number 1, Kurt Drennan of Fairmont Senior, Parkersburg South. In lane 2 with Gage Matheny, Ezra Johnson in lane 3 from Robert C. Byrd, Brook High School's Thomas Olenek. In lane 4, Nick Barney in lane 5 of Brook High School, Parkersburg's Killian Coster in lane 6, Nick Nixon in lane 7 of Wheeling Central, and Woodrow Wilson's Corbin Peters in lane 8. The top time in the region, 6:03.25 from Brooks, Thomas Olenek.
Gage Matheny really had a very good start, very good dive on that one. So it was a pretty textbook dive. He wasn't able to quite keep it up, but he definitely had a picture perfect dive on that one.
So what was your time in the 500?
I don't remember. I believe it was. I definitely know I did not make it to states in it, so it was definitely not good enough. I think it was 7 minutes. I would not have qualified for states.
I think if you could finish this, you're a winner. It's a 500-yard freestyle for the boys underway here. Again, heat 1 of 3 heats. The top regional qualifyings all in that last heat. But we, like you said, they take the top 12. You can pick up some points in these 2 heats prior to the finals. So we'll keep an eye on that.
What I'm really impressed with so far is we've got Corbin Peters. Usually, and I've had a lot of swimmers that have come in seated 24th. And when you're seated 24th, some people are like, I'm just not going to swim hard. I'm 24th. What does it matter?
Yep.
Corbin Peters definitely did not. He
got out to a good start. Now they've caught up with him with the pack.
But he is definitely giving it his all there, and that's all you can ask for, because you just really want everybody to go as hard as they can.
So they make the turn and head back.
He's still keeping up, though. He's still keeping it in.
In lane 6 is our leader at the moment, Killian Coster of Parkersburg High School. He turned in a time of 6:07.52 in regionals.
And the Killian Coster, he's one of the few. Like I was talking about earlier with Parkersburg and their youth. He's only a freshman, so the sky's the limit for him. So he's taking it out. He's hoping that he can finish in the top 12. Give Parkersburg a very youthful Parkersburg team. They did win their region. But a youthful Parkersburg team trying to help them out here.
Lane 3 coming on. That is Ezra Johnson of Robert C. Byrd, as he is going to, pretty much dead even there.
Looks like Ezra Johnson got him on the turn. Look, in the 500, if you do your flip turns, if you nail your flip turns in the 500, you don't have to worry much about the swimming. I know you're going to hear the coaches harp. Turns, 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 turns. But I promise you, if you do the turns as well as you can, you won't have to do much swimming because you'll go so far off your turn, you won't have to do much with your arms. But look at Ezra Johnson of Robert C. Byrd. Again, Robert C. Byrd, in order to finish second or third, they really need to nail their freestyle events. And so Ezra Johnson, when I talked to Christy Fubio on my podcast, he was one of the surprise candidates. Very surprising. He's kind of always swam the 500, but he really dropped some time to help Robert C. Byrd win the Region 3.
Lap number 13 coming up for Johnson and the rest of the pack as he again is leading this heat number 1 in the 500-yard freestyle, one of 3 heats.
In the middle, this is when you get separated. It's easy to keep up. It's easy to really gut it out for the first 100, the first 150. But this is when you really see the separation happen, and this is when you really got to fix it to the end. Now you will occasionally see. Now look at how tired he looks. You can see kind of how red he's getting back there. He's definitely really tired. That's kind of how all of you are. Or you can probably barely stand usually whenever you're done the 500.
Ezra Johnson continues to lead Heat 1 from Robert C. Byrd High School. A comfortable lead right now, but up in lane 6. Following closely behind from Parkersburg High School is Killian Coster.
Now look at this race for third.
Coster is just a freshman, maybe.
Yes.
14 years old.
Yes, he is. Sky's the limit. Look at this race for third. Almost a line. We'll watch for that in a little bit to see, because usually whenever you're in a line and you're at the last 100, that's when the sprinting really happens. That's when you can really sprint. It's really tough when you don't see the person beside you. You think you're totally out of it. Yeah. Mentally, you almost kind of check yourself out. But whenever there's a line and it's the last 100, you're going to find that extra oomph that you need.
So lap 18 for our leader here in Heat 1.
And kick. Look at Killian. Look at Killian. He's starting to kick more. Not quite the bubbles you need. Look. I guess they must have heard me under in the water. The bubbles. That's what we're looking for. The bubbles.
Ezra Johnson in lane 3. Robert C. Byrd High School coming in. He'll make his last turn.
And my favorite part about the 500, it's the cowbell.
Yes.
That's how you know. The cowbell, especially if you don't have a swimmer in the 500 and you're a coach and you go to the hospitality room, you know when you hear the cowbell that it's ready for the second heat to come.
So Ezra Johnson will win Heat 1 here in the 500-yard freestyle.
You know what's even great about that? Look at that time jump.
5:53.15.
He came in at a 6:06. That is a 13-second jump. I'm telling you, Robert C. Byrd came here to play today.
As we're still finishing up in lane 7.
And not to be...
Nate Nixon and Corbin Peters in lane 8.
And not
take a look at this replay.
Here we go.
Finish.
Look at that. Look at how hard he's going. He's kicking. He finishes with... He almost should have finished with that down, but still, what a great swim. What a great swim there. And then also look at Killian Coster. We were just talking about Killian Coster. I do not want to leave him out. He dropped 9 seconds. So we've got a 13-second drop and a 9-second drop. Again, whenever your team is trying to win the top 5, usually it trickles down from top to bottom, and time drops come out of nowhere whenever you're trying to win.
Where they're going to come from. So
yeah, whenever you're trying to win a top 5, usually they just come out of nowhere. So good job, Killian Coster.
So Ezra Johnson of Robert C. Byrd wins heat number 1. Heat number 2 of 3 coming up. It'll be in lane 1. Joshua McPherson from East Fairmont High School. Brook High School's Jacob Donnelly in lane 2. Morgan Miller in lane 3 from John Marshall. Wheeling Central's Kelly Rydell 4 in lane 5. Connor LeBombard from Jefferson High School. In lane 6, Robert C. Byrd's Adam Fubio. In lane 7, Wheeling Central's Joey Sechrist. and Max Hill in lane 8 from Wheeling Park, the top time. Wheeling Central's Kelly Rydell, 5:44.31 in regionals.
All right, here we go. Again, it's easy to start out kind of even. It's who's got it about lap 10.
We are even, almost straight across. And out in lane 4, just barely ahead, is Wheeling Central's Kelly Riddell. And I apologize for any pronunciation mistakes today.
And look at Connor Lombard. Again, Jefferson really needs the 500 here.
Lanes 3, 4, and 5 coming into the turn on lap 3.
Look at Lombard, the streamline off the turn, and he's slowly catching up, slowly getting ahead of everybody. The more streamline you're off the wall, and if you're tall, the more that you're going to create separation. Let's see if he can do it again on this turn. Off the wall, streamline, look at that. He
gets him on the turn of Morgan Miller there, but then Miller kind of powers through in the mid part of the pool.
But look how
takes
much harder he's working than
yes,
Connor Lombard.
Yes.
Look, Lombard, streamline.
Right back up even.
And look at how much he has to work. So that's going to help Connor Lombard later in this race.
So in lane 3 from John Marshall High School, Morgan Miller leads.
And he was the only one. He's the only one from John Marshall here at States for the guys. So he's the team of one.
Currently leading as they finish up
and again,
lap number 7.
And again, the top 4 score points. So you have the 8, and then you have the top 12 score points. So if you finish 4th place in this heat, theoretically you get there. So that's why the race for 3rd, which is starting to even up here in the line, that's why that's so important. Now, Connor Lombard really needs to start pushing if he's going to win this heat. His turns are good. His turns, he gets him on the turns, but he's really got to look at the kick. He's just kind of stopped kicking there. He really's got to push up the kick to be able to win this heat.
Yeah, Lombard not much kick right now, all arms, as he tries to stay up with Morgan Miller of John Marshall in lane 3.
And luckily, this is what I talk about. Turns can keep you in a race. Turns are keeping Connor Lombard in this race.
Would Lombard now be saving something for the end, though?
He might be. And look at that. Look.
Morgan Miller will touch, make the turn. Lombard right behind him
and look
in lane 5, and coming on in lane 6, Adam Fubio of Robert C. Byrd High School.
Adam Fubio and Josh McPherson. Again, Robert C. Byrd also really needs these 500 points, so we really needs to make sure he gets the 3rd place finish. At some point, I expect Connor Lombard to really start his kicks. His turns have kept him right neck to neck here with Morgan Miller. But at some point, I fully expect full kicks to happen.
Lap 12 is finished into the lap 13.
Look at that.
Lombard right behind Miller.
And look at Fubio and McPherson. McPherson in lane 1. That's another race along with Kelly Rydell. That's going to be, that's the one that determines who's going to come home with a medal and who's not. So
Miller, Lombard, Fubio, and then in lane 1, McPherson.
All right. Oh man, it looks like Fubio might gain on Lombard here. Look at him. Fubio is starting to see some bubbles. He's starting to pick up the kick. I know people are probably sick of me talking about the bubbles, but that's what gets you. That's how you know you're kicking. He's starting to catch up. It might be Fubio
on Lombard.
And you can just see the coaches on the other end. They're usually yelling something very, very worthwhile like kick. Or they're going to say kick your feet. Oh, man,
and
Fubio.
Lombard coming up even with Miller.
Oh, man, this is
Fubio out in lane 6.
Oh, man, this is going to be a good finish. This is what you like to see in the 500. I think Fubio might get this one. He is on a roll. Here it is. Look at how tight this is. Lombard did finally get ahead. Lombard, he's starting to kick maybe a little bit more kick, and maybe he would get it. But, man, Fubio, Lombard, and Miller, they are just neck to neck to neck to neck.
3 more lengths of the pool for the 500-yard freestyle. Lombard barely out in front of Fubio.
And here it comes. I'm telling you. It's the last lap. Who's going to get it? Who wants this 500 more? Robert C. Byrd and Jefferson, they are both trying to win second place here at the States.
Fubio takes the lead.
Oh, man. But it's still close. I'm telling you, Lombard can still get him on the turn.
Fubio will touch, and he'll bring it home in the lead in lane 6. Lombard in lane 5.
Now Lombard's kicking. Come on, Lombard. He really wants it.
Fubio.
And don't forget, we got those people in. We got those
C. Birds. He'll touch ahead of Lombardo.
Lombard, yes.
I'll get it. Lombard. Connor Lombard of Jefferson. And Fubio, Adam Fubio, Robert C. Byrd will win the heat.
And I think the previous lane got 12th place so far. So
you look at the final times coming in and a replay of that finish.
Look at that finish. Look at how much kick. Fubio really nailed the kick at the end. He wasn't quite there. We weren't even talking about Fubio at the beginning of the race. And then he just kicked it up right around lap 10. That's what you like to see in the 500. That is an endurance swimmer. Whenever they have more at the end than at the beginning, that's how you know that they're an endurance person. They're ready. They're going to beat you. They'll let you get out front, but they're going to get you at the end. Good job by Fubio.
So Fubio finishing first here in Heat 2 with a time of 5:41.20. Swam a 5:52.63 in regionals, so a vast improvement on that time.
Oh my goodness, that's another 8-second drop. That's like, I mean, if you were to tell your coach, I'm going to drop 8 seconds, the coach would be like, yeah, sure. But he did.
From out of nowhere, like you said, we weren't even talking about him, and then coming on at the end with that strong kick will win heat number 2 as we take a look at heat number 3 here in the 500-yard freestyle. In lane 1 will be Parkersburg's Garrett Colvin. In lane 2, George Washington, Wesley St. Jean. Preston Householder from Morgantown High School in lane 3. Frank McCutcheon from University High School in lane 4. Preston Bennett in lane 5 of Buchanan Upshur. Brook High School's Ethan Roby in lane 6. Lucian Bumgardner from Parkersburg High School in lane 7. And in lane 8 from Morgantown High School, Lake Embry. The top time in regionals, University's Frank McCutcheon, 4:52.95.
All right, here we go. What a good start by McCutcheon.
And the state record holder is South Charleston High School's Travis Green back in 2007, 4:36.90.
All right. The Preston Bennett, again, as I told you before, Buchanan Upshur does not wear their tech suit before regionals. So I look for Preston Bennett. We've been talking about 8-second drops, 12-second drops. I look for this race to be super close between McCutcheon and Bennett.
So Bennett in lane 5, McCutcheon in lane 4, out ahead of the pack early in the 500.
All right, so
lane
far.
Lane 6, third place right now is Brook High School's Ethan Roby.
And look, they're going stroke for stroke. Stroke for stroke. You want to match the stroke. That's good. It looks like Preston Bennett's getting a little bit more length per stroke. But Frank McCutcheon's definitely getting him on the walls. Look at that turn. That is a great freestyle, great streamline off the wall. And look how much distance he gets. But then look at the length that Preston Bennett gets as he's coming in. Look at the length of his strokes. But I think the turns. Oh, that was a really good turn by by Bennett there. So again, it's going to be the battle of the turns.
So McCutcheon in lane 4, out ahead of Preston Bennett. Early in the race, into lap number 8.
Well, look at the kick. Look at Bennett's kick. He's kicking a lot harder. He's kicking a little bit more to try to keep up. He knows that he was seated a lot behind, so he's really trying to push everything that he has. And so you as a coach, you may be worried that maybe he puts too much too soon. But we'll see here.
So in lane 4 again, still leading by a length and a half, is Frank McCutcheon of University High School. He turned in a 4:52.95 in regionals.
And now look at this race for third here. It's starting to heat up. We got a nice little line here. They're kind of going stroke for stroke. And again, Bennett is really trying to kick his way past McCutcheon.
You talk about that third place and that tight pack of Wesley St. Jean of George Washington in Preston Householder in lane 3 of Morgantown High School. And then Ethan Roby up in lane 6.
I do see Preston Bennett getting a little bit tired. His legs aren't fully flipping on the wall. You can tell he's starting to lose it. He's kicking it right in between. But watch when he goes on the wall. It doesn't fully. Usually the feet go way high and push off. He doesn't quite get it. But the race for third here is going to be where the race is at.
So in lanes 2, 3, and 6, Wesley St. Jean, Preston Householder, and Ethan Roby. A tight pack for that third place finish right now.
And what school is Wesley St. Jean from again?
George Washington High School.
I'm telling you.
The school on the hill is what they like to say down in the capital city.
All right. And looks like Frank McCutcheon he's really nailing his walls. He's turned his kick up. Look, and so unlike Preston Bennett, what he has done. So Preston Bennett, he usually turns his kick and then he just runs out of steam and he can't keep his kick all the way through. Frank McCutcheon, look, you have that steady stream of bubbles going all the way down for the 25. It doesn't stop, and so that's why you see such a commanding lead.
The cowbell is ringing. 2 more laps.
Yes. See, notice Preston Bennett. He's really trying. He's listened to his coach. He's like, I need to kick the whole time, and he just can't do it. Sometimes you just run out of steam in the 500. You mean well, but you can't.
University's Frank McCutcheon makes the turn, and he'll bring it home well ahead of Preston Bennett in second place.
Well, let's watch the battle for third.
So McCutcheon will win the 500 freestyle. 4:41.84.
All right. And here it comes on the battle for third.
Lane 3. Preston Householder of Morgantown High School out front of lane 2. Wesley St. Jean of George Washington, as Householder will touch ahead of St. Jean.
St. Jean really put on. Sometimes in the 500, like I said with Preston Bennett, St. Jean had the same problem. He just kind of ran out of juice at the end. You can just kind of see.
And the finish for the state title.
You can just see. Look at the bubbles there, right there. Look at the stretch. Look at how stretched out he is. What a good way to finish the race there.
A nice race by Frank McCutcheon as he'll take the title in the 500-yard freestyle for the boys. 4 minutes, 41 seconds, 41.84 seconds and for the victory. Not too bad. What's that give him in the top 10?
That would give him number 6 in the state all time. So that is a very good swim, and it looked very good.
So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll return for the 200-yard freestyle relay. You're watching the WVSSAC State Swimming Championships right here on Video Productions.
Inside all of us lies a potential to succeed. The definition of success differs for each of us. It's personal. One size doesn't fit all. At MVB, we believe in relationships supported by technology, product offerings, and industry knowledge. We believe in your imagination, your determination, and your grit. Our financial services keep pace with your ambition and empower your limitless potential. We say yes if, when other banks say no because. At our core, we power potential. We strive to unlock the potential in you, your family, your business, and your community. Your success is our success. you deserve more than a bank. You deserve a trusted partner on the financial frontier. MVB, powering your potential.
Welcome back inside the Aquatic Center here at MYLAN Park in Morgantown, West Virginia for the 2021 West Virginia State Swimming Championships, presented by Video Productions. Jack Withrow alongside James Miller of Swim WV. And we're just finishing up the boys' 500-yard freestyle as Frank McCutcheon of University High School turned in a time of 4:41.84 for the state title for Mr. McCutcheon.
All right, so if you love the 50-yard freestyle, you're going to love the 200-yard freestyle relay, because instead of just one person down and back, now you get three of your friends.
Yep.
And now we're going to see how fast four people can go down and back. And this is the one, as I talked about earlier, for the state title. If George Washington can finish 6th place, that's what gives Bridgeport hope. All right, so this is a key event for George Washington. They have stepped it up in other events, but to really make sure that you're well on the way for the state title, you've got to make sure that the 200 freestyle relay is there. Also, what's really interesting about Bridgeport is they've got two people. Usually in the state meet, you try to mix it out. T. Chanel is in 3 relays. Marcel Rodriguez is in 3 relays. So that's why Bridgeport could win all 3 relays. It may have hurt them a little bit in other events, but because whenever you have that COVID pause, you had to you wanted to make sure, as a coach, you wanted to make sure that you could get all 3 of your relays to state, so that way you could get to the point where you could substitute Marcel Rodriguez for somebody in. So did that maybe hurt them in another event, because T. Chanel was in the butterfly? Did that hurt them in another event? You'll never know. But that's kind of what they had to do. So again, Bridgeport's got to win and win big, and George Washington has to finish about 5th, 6th, and that gives Bridgeport a little hope.
For the 8th event, the 200-yard freestyle relay, in heat number 1 of 3. Lane number 2 will be Brooke High School in lane 3, Cabell Midland. Lane 4 will be Huntington High School, Spring Mills in lane 5, Capital in lane 6, and Wheeling Park in lane 7 of heat number 1.
Now, you said you were a sprinter, right?
Yep.
Can you imagine if on your relay you just got done swimming the 500-yard freestyle, and then now you have to get right back up?
Wait. That wouldn't happen with me. First, you'd have to drag me out of the pool if I even made it 500 yards in a pool. But I understand.
That is tough. I applaud the swimmers that can go from a 500-yard freestyle to a 200-yard freestyle. That takes some guts.
So it's Brooke in lane 2, Cabell Midland in lane 3, Huntington in 4, in lane 5, Spring Mills, Capital in lane 6, and Wheeling Park in lane 7 of heat number 1 here in the 200-yard freestyle relay.
Luke Adkins got one heck of a start in lane 4 of Huntington. What a great start.
So Huntington in lane 4. In lane 5 is Spring Mills.
Noah Segrist really – so as good as that start was, that was as great of a turn by Noah Segrist. Here we go.
Huntington and Spring Mills out in front here in heat number 1. Lanes 4 and 5, and now Spring Mills.
Look at Holden Marsh. Look at that line that he's holding. He's keeping it up. He is keeping them in. They're gaining. Look at that length that they're going to need. So now we got to watch out for the third leg. Sometimes you put your weakest swimmer in the third leg to make up for it. So let's see if that's what happens here.
Third leg, Spring Mills still out in front in lane 5. Holding off lane 6 is Capital. Lane 3.
Oh, but look at that turn.
Midland.
Look at that turn over there again. You're going to hear me say it all the time. The turns are what help it. Aiden Andrews on that turn really helped it out, but don't worry. Spring Mills kind of gained it in.
Lucas Driver into the water for Spring Mills.
All right, Kenny, hold on. Kenny, hold on. This is what I love about swimming. Can your anchor hold on to a big lead?
Makes the turn.
And look at second. Look at that turn.
Out ahead of Capital in second in lane
But
3. Capital Midland in lane 4. Huntington coming
but Henry
on.
Shields, look at Henry Shields really trying to get, and look
And
at
it's
that.
Huntington ahead in the lane 4 of Capital Midland for third place in heat number 1.
Now 141.12 by Spring Mills. Look at where they could fall. Look where they could fall in heat 2. They could finish right there on the 12th place line.
Look at this finish here, especially in lanes 3 and 4.
Lanes 3 and 4. Look at Henry Shields just wheeling his way there with that outstanding touch, outstanding kick. Can't ask for anything more on that turn.
Heat 2 of 3 coming up. In the 200-yard freestyle relay in lane 2, Washington. Lane 3, Parkersburg South. In lane 4, Winfield. Parkersburg in lane 5. In lane 6 will be Elkins. And in lane 7, Morgantown.
You know, I bet you don't have bobbleheads where you're at. Bobbleheads of your son.
Bobbleheads up here in the stands, yeah? The big heads on the – oh, okay, I see it.
Yes. I bet you that's how you get your son to go.
You got the big head up on a stick up here. Mom cheering on her son. You love to see it. And, of course, the crowd here, not as much as we see normally. But it's still a vocal crowd here inside the Aquatic Center as we're away here in heat number 2.
Parkersburg South with a wonderful start. The wonderful start. Again, that turn.
Lane 4 is Winfield.
Winfield got him on the turn, but Parkersburg South really nailed that start. Let's see.
Winfield will touch here in the second leg out ahead.
Oh. It's Winfield and Parkersburg South. Again, you want to finish.
Rumpel into the water for Winfield. The Generals makes the turn. And coming out on top of the water in lane 3 is Parkersburg South. Landon Fowler, the second leg for the Patriots.
And that's usually, whenever you put a lineup together, you usually put the slowest swimmer in the second one. And then third is your next slowest. And then you balance it out. So if you could keep up there, you could do that. But look at how close this is. This is a line. It's going to come down to the anchors. That's what you love to see. That's why you watch the 200-yard freestyle.
Parkersburg South in lane 3.
Here it comes.
The final
big jump.
leg.
Big jump.
Jackson Dirth in the water.
Jackson Dirth. That's the name we kept talking about in the 50 and the 100. Look at him go again.
Dirth will make the turn.
Look at him.
And out in front.
He wasn't
playing around. Jackson Dirth will bring it home for the Patriots.
Look at this race for second.
Second place.
Who's going to get
4
it?
and 5. It's Winfield.
Just
and Parkersburg. Winfield. They got out-touched by Parkersburg. 139-37. Let's see what it cycles through. I'm looking at the wrong one here.
Here we go. Let's look at this replay here. Look at this. Armed. Neck to neck to neck to neck. If you could give him a tie, you would, but you can't. And it looks like
Parkersburg just barely as.
It was actually how you finished. So it looked like that. But really what happened was Winfield finished under and Parkersburg South finished over. And because they finished under, they were able to get that one.
So heat number 3 coming up in the boys' 200-yard freestyle relay. Lane number 2 is Buchanan Upshur. Lane 3, George Washington. Jefferson in lane 4. Lane 5, Robert C. Byrd. Bridgeport in lane 6. And Hurricane in lane 7.
Now remember, Parkersburg South got a 137.01. That could finish them in the top 6. So here we go.
State record was set back in 2008. Parkersburg High School, 129.69.
This is what you love to see. Lots of splash. Lots of splash in the top 4. You have no idea who's going to win this race here so far. Marcel Rodriguez looks like
lane 6.
Looks like he's keeping them up. There comes Bridgeport.
Bridgeport High School.
But not to be outdone is George Washington.
George Washington.
Looks like
in lane 3.
This is it.
So Bridgeport, George Washington, 1-2 here in the final heat.
Oh, but look. George Washington's really trying to hold on. Look at Bridgeport.
Bridgeport, George Washington, Robert Seabird, and Jefferson as make the turn.
Make the turn. George Washington really is having a great meet. George Washington is finishing right ahead of Bridgeport almost. Look at how close. It's going to come down to the end here.
Into the water.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Bridgeport. George Washington.
Here it comes. And look.
And coming on in the middle.
Coming on strong. Who's going to get this? George Washington might win.
GW.
GW might do it.
Lane 3.
The Patriots might pull off. And they were like,
ahead.
Oh, my goodness.
130-41.
What? Man.
Just barely missing the state record.
Whoa, where did that swim? That is one spirited swim. Because
let's take a look at the replay
here.
Look
at this. Look at this finish here. Just one.
Oh, and it froze up
it
on it.
It froze up. It was so fast. It went so fast for the instant replay.
Potters.
And George, look at this. Just nailed Bridgeport right at the end. George Washington, what a race. Maybe they watched my video this morning and they were none too pleased, maybe. I don't know. What a great swim.
But you talk about George Washington, they may not win any, but they come out here and win a relay. They may not win any individual state titles tonight or today, but right there, a victory in that 200-yard freestyle relay.
Yeah, what a great swim. That is an amazing swim. And you look at Bridgeport. Bridgeport brought in, so they came in with that confidence. They had Marcel Rodriguez back, and you thought, man, they're really going to get that relay. And George Washington was like, no, you're not. And they got it. That's why you settle all of the disputes in the pool right there. Good swim.
We'll step aside, take a quick breath. You're watching the 2021 WVSSAC State Swimming Championships right here on Video Productions.
If it looks like an F-150, tows like an F-150, hauls like an F-150, thinks like an F-150, and powers like an F-150, it must be an F-150 hybrid. Introducing the all-new 2021 F-150 Power Boost Hybrid with 570 pound-feet of torque and 12,700 pounds of max available towing.
From the moment you walk into PostNet, we've got your back. From design and printing to shipping and more, whatever you need, we can help. We can bring your projects to life with advice and insight so you never feel like you're going it alone. Help you tackle everything in one place with a one-stop shop for everything from shipping a package to printing your big presentation. Save you time by not only getting the job done right, but also right on time. And all with exceptional PostNet customer service. We're more than just a place to get things done. We're your people.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Welcome back inside the Aquatic Center here at MYLAN Park in Morgantown, West Virginia for the 2021 West Virginia State Swimming Championships presented by Video Productions. Jack Withrow alongside James Miller of Swim WV. Exciting event here so far this morning. And we've got coming up the boys' 100-yard backstroke event.
And can I just say something about that last relay? Not only, so we're sitting up here on George Washington, they had someone in a cast. So someone either has an ankle injury or a foot injury, and they still were able to win that relay. I know if I tear my ankle or break my ankle, I'm barely getting up on the block. Yeah. And they just won the 200 freestyle relay with
somebody in a boot there.
Somebody in a boot.
Yeah. So very impressive from George Washington as we're sitting here watching the award ceremony as they come around and give the awards. George Washington's team in the freestyle relay coming up, and one of them had a boot on. I don't know who it was, but they definitely had a boot on. Here we got the 100-yard backstroke, one of 3 heats. Heat number 1 in lane 1, Austin Voigt of Hampshire High School. Doddridge County in lane 2, Caden Smith. Wheeling Central in lane 3 with Nate Nixon. Anthony Metz of Charleston Catholic in lane 4. Braxton Kinney in lane 5. Elkins. Wheeling Park's Ethan Waldick in lane 6. Eric Martinez Mapp in lane 7 from Morgantown High School. And in lane 8, Ben Hansen of Jefferson High School.
All right, here we go. The name of this game is as elongated as you could be. So it's basically freestyle on your back, but it's a little bit more complicated. You want to keep as long. Look at this turn.
And in front, it looks like Charleston Catholic's
and
Anthony Metz.
Anthony Metz. You also want to make sure you get plenty of dolphins off the turn. It's more important to get the dolphins off the turn on your backstroke necessarily than your freestyle.
Ethan Waldick of Wheeling Park pushing ahead of Metz as we make the turn up in lane number 6.
And look at that reach. That reach is what's going to get them. The backstroke is all about how much reach you can get, how much water you can just shove out of the way, and, of course, a nice steady kick.
Waldick will make the turn.
And look at that turn.
In lane 6.
He kept the streamline there. Look at that. From Wheeling Park.
Lane 3 coming on. That is Nate Nixon of Wheeling Central.
Nate Nixon, look at that. He wasn't there. He's coming on strong at the end. Can he outreach? But look at the race for 3rd and 4th.
Nixon in 2nd.
All right.
Ethan Waldick, Wheeling Park, the winner of heat number 1.
And see, look at this.
At the replay.
Let's look at this replay. Look at that. Look at the stretch. Look at how. Look at the stretch there, and look at how close those two are. But just finishing on the side right there.
So Waldick will finish first in heat number 1. As we look at heat number 2, the lane assignments. Lane 1, Justin Gottlieb from Jefferson High School. Parkersburg South in lane 2 with Anthony Ott. Aiden Riley in lane 3 from Sissonville High School. Weir High School, Ryan Spears in lane 4. Cabell Midland's Brandon Workman in lane 5. Lane 6, Kevin Davis of Jefferson High School. Hurricane High School's Houston Payton in lane 7. Bill Triplett in lane 8 from South Charleston High School. Spears with the top time from Regionals, 104.46 in lane 4.
All right, there we go. And look at how far he gets off his turn. That's what you're looking for off a backstroke turn. About 3/4 of the way. And look, can he keep it up on the turn? And he does.
As Spears in front after the first turn.
But we got a nice line for 3rd place. I love seeing the nice line for 3rd place. Can he keep up?
I'm sorry, that is lane 5, Brandon Workman of Cabell Midland out front. Apologies.
Yes. And Anthony Ott of Parkersburg South. There's Parkersburg South again.
In lane 2.
Anthony
Ott.
And here, but look at this turn. The turn is what saves him there.
Braxton Kinney.
Look at that. Look at those dolphins off. He gets as far as he can. What an amazing turn by Brandon Workman.
Cabell Midland.
Oh, but look at this race for 2nd. Out Riley Spears. Who's going to get it?
Workman will take first.
Oh, look at that.
2nd, 3rd place. 101.44 for Workman.
So let's look at Riley versus Spears here. Their arms Their arms are moving in conjunction, but look at the end. Look at Riley right there. He stretches, he ends on his side. That's what gets it. You don't want to end flat on your back. That's what slows you down.
100-yard backstroke for the boys in Heat 3. Lane assignments, Lane 1, Leif Potters from George Washington High School. Lane 2, Colton Hoffman of Capitol High School. George Washington's Grant Ridenauer in Lane 3. Bruce Keener from Bridgeport High School in Lane 4. Zachary Groh from George Washington High School in Lane 5. Patrick Fubio, Robert C. Bird in Lane 6. Lane 7, Carter Redelman from Morgantown High School. And Lane 8, Will Angus from Grafton High School.
The big time. Will Bruce Keener break the record? He's about 0.4 of a second away from the state record. Can he do it? 50.86 is the time we're looking for in the 100-yard backstroke for Bruce Keener to break the state record.
He turned in a 51.23 for regionals. Keener in Lane 4.
And last year at states he had a 50.93. Just barely missed it. But look at that turn. Look at how much underwater he is.
Keener comes up.
Look at that.
In the lead in Lane 4.
All right.
First turn.
He is blasted through that turn.
Keener in 4 in Lane 6 in second place.
But look at
Patrick
Fubio. Fubio. Where did this race come from?
Keener turns. Fubio second. A tight race for third.
Fubio, man.
Keener well ahead of the pack.
Oh, man.
Fubio still in second. Lane 3 and 5, the battle for third.
Here it is, 50.86. That's what we're looking for. He's at a 42. Can he do it? A 50.86.
Bruce Keener.
Is he going to do it?
Bridgeport High School.
He's just barely going to miss it. Look at that. He missed it by 0.13 of a second.
50.99.
Oh, my goodness. But look at Patrick Fubio. I don't know. Maybe being the coach's son. I don't know, man. He really nailed it.
Fubio, 54.13.
Dropped 3.5 seconds. Finished second. Robert C. Bird really needs that for their race for number 2. That is a wonderful race for Fubio. And very close to Bruce Keener. I was here when David Snyder broke his record in the 100-yard backstroke, and it was amazing. He slapped the water. It was one heck of a moment. Look at this.
Look at this finish.
Look at this finish. Look at just how fast he goes. Look at how streamlined he is. Here we go.
Powers into the wall. Bruce Keener, 50.99 for Bridgeport, takes the title in the 100-yard backstroke. And
luckily he has
just missing that record from Parkersburg's David Snyder, set in 2019 of 50.86.
Luckily he has one more year to do it, and usually with a state record, like the senior year, that's what you're going for. So that might be what he's thinking about all summer, is I'm going to break that state record next year, no matter what. What a great swim.
Coming up will be second to the last event for the boys here in the morning session, the 100-yard breaststroke. And heat 1 of 3, lane assignments in lane number 1, Cowan Brassfield from Jefferson High School. Parkersburg South, Andrew Kirk in lane 2. Lane 3, Christopher Schumacher from Notre Dame. Fairmont Seniors, Kurt Drennan in lane 4. Holden Marsh in lane 5 from Spring Mills High School. Wheeling Park's Grant Shell in lane 6. Isaac Wetzel from Elkins High School in lane 7. Ezra Johnson from Robert C. Byrd in lane 8.
All right.
100-yard breaststroke.
And this one, the key is as much underwater as you can. So you want to glide a little bit, but the glide has to be kind of underwater. You spend most of the time. It's the most inefficient part of breaststroke is actually what you do above water. And really, with the breaststroke, it's, again, you're going to get sick of me saying it's about the turn. It is about the turn, but the breaststroke has so many components to the breaststroke turn. You got to touch the wall. Then you got to elbow your brother and phone your mother. That's what they always tell you in the little swim class, okay? And then you got to perfectly time that butterfly kick. And then you got to bring your arms forward. And there's just so many different technical aspects of it that people mess up. They don't do quite as quick. But those that really nail the turn, those are the ones that usually do the races, because really what your arms do isn't really efficient. So the whole goal is your arms and legs are trying to get you into a nice streamlined position.
Meet record held by South Charleston High School's Austin Green back in 2013. He broke his own record from 2012, but the meet record is 56.67.
And Majester Abdul-Jalil might have broken the record, but I think he had a basketball injury, or he had some sort of injury, and he wasn't able to get back to full strength.
Yep.
And so he might have actually broken Austin Green's record. He was a really huge standout for George Washington years ago.
From George Washington High School.
And then also little Jake Presscorn. He was the one that single-handedly brought Notre Dame, and they had a really good 3-year stretch with Jake Presscorn that finished runner-up at the States. What a wonderful run that led by Jake Presscorn as well from years ago. Right now we're having some touchpad issues. That's what we're waiting on.
As you see, the time up in the corner is turning, so we are waiting to fix that.
But yeah, I really wish you would have seen the atmosphere as David. I mean, he did the slap on the chest, it was such a great moment. I know. I took pictures of it. I was on the pool deck. It was an amazing time when David Snyder broke that record. And I know if David Snyder was here, he'd probably really appreciate maybe someone breaking his record too. That's what drives a lot of swimmers, is seeing their name on a record board. It seems so simple.
Yeah.
I just want my name on a record board.
Yeah. Well, as we are waiting here, we look across on the other wall opposite of us is the WU records in women's and men's swimming, and then the diving team. So they've got their records listed over on the wall. So it's something to shoot for. It's a goal of many swimmers.
It's one of the top things I get emails about on SwimWV. That's what they really want to know. They're like, when are you going to update the records? When are you going to update the records?
I
get
that. Told you that.
Yes. When are you going to update the records? And sometimes, sometimes you get to it, and sometimes you forget to do it. But that's the big thing. People really want to see their name on the record board. They want that legacy, that their name stays on the record board for years to come.
So SwimWV, you've taken that over, and how many years have you been over that?
I think this is year 3 or 4. So, it started by Katie Squires, who is related to the Tim Squires, the Will Squires, the whole Squires family. She started it back in 2009, and it started out as a catalog site because before, if you wanted a time, you had to barter with a coach. So you had to call a coach from the middle of the state and say, hey, give me your heat sheet, and I'll give you my heat sheet. And that is how you knew what the times are. Or you had to actually subscribe to every newspaper in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And you had to hope that they didn't do a typo of the times, and that's how you got it. And then you had to wait so long to find out if you made it to states because you had to wait for your coach to email you. So if your coach didn't email you quick enough, you're sitting there with knots in your stomach, like if you didn't finish in the top of the automatic qualifiers, you had no idea if you made it to states. It's a totally different time now. Thank God for Katie Squires. She gave me the keys to the Rolls Royce and told me not to wreck it. So
far you haven't?
So far I haven't. So. Got a couple dents, but never a wreck.
That is swimwv.co. I know the mini mistake is .com, but it is .co. And you can go over there and check. I mean, it's a plethora of information over on that website. And we are sending the stream over to that website today as well. We are streaming as well on there. We're on our Facebook, over on YouTube, as well as on NFHS Network if you're a subscriber to that as well.
And it'll be on SwimWV for a while. I'll probably keep it up all summer. So if you want to, if you 2 months from now you want to see like a certain race, it'll still be up there.
So they're still trying to fix the timing issue. So we're going to step aside, and then we'll come back for the 100-yard breaststroke from right here inside the Aquatic Center at MYLAN Park in Morgantown.
Inside all of us lies a potential to succeed. The definition of success differs for each of us. It's personal. One size doesn't fit all. At MVB, we believe in relationships supported by technology, product offerings, and industry knowledge. We believe in your imagination, your determination, and your grit. Our financial services keep pace with your ambition and empower your limitless potential. We say yes if. when other banks say no because. At our core, we power potential. We strive to unlock the potential in you, your family, your business, and your community. Your success is our success. You deserve more than a bank. You deserve a trusted partner on the financial frontier. MVB, powering your potential.
My favorite part.
Okay, we're back. I think they've got the timing issue corrected. Well,
and with the crowd applause, I really love the crowd applause. Here we go.
Back to zeros.
Maybe that's how we would have won a time.
So the 100-yard breaststroke. Heat 1 of 3 again. Lane assignments. Lane 1, Jefferson High's Cowan Brassfield. Andrew Kirk from Parkersburg South. In lane 2, Notre Dame's Christopher Schumacher in lane 3. Fairmont Senior's Kirk Drennan in lane 4. Holden Marsh in lane 5 of Spring Mills. Wheeling Park's Grant Shell in 6. Isaac Wetzel from Elkins in lane 7. Ezra Johnson in lane 8 from Robert C. Byrd.
All right, here's the best part about the 100-yard breaststroke is when the crowd yells go every time the swimmer's head comes out of the water. That's my favorite part. Look at these turns. Again, you want to be streamlined off the turn. Lots of parts.
You talk about a tight pack, right? The line across the pool.
And this is
pretty much even.
This is very typical of a breaststroke. It's really hard to get separation of a breaststroke. The separation happens on the turn. So look, he goes out, and you don't want to rush it either. It's like Goldilocks' porridge. You can't go too slow and you can't go too fast off the turn of the breaststroke. It's complete opposite of the other 3 turns.
Spring Mills. Holden Marsh barely leading.
Here it comes.
Out in lane 5.
It's this turn. Who's got this turn? It looks like actually lane 3, Nate Nixon. Nate Nixon with the great turn. And again, because of that great turn, here he comes.
That's Schumacher from Notre Dame in lane 3.
Oh, my gosh, Schumacher. Yes, I'm looking at the backstroke. So Schumacher, look at that. That turn helped propel him to win that heat. So
Notre Dame will take heat 1 in lane 3.
In addition, that coach is going to take a 2-second drop off 100 breaststroke. That anytime you could drop that much time, the coach is really super excited, and the coach thinks they did that. So, with wonderful words of encouragement. So, good job for Mr. Schumacher of Notre Dame.
1:15.04 for Schumacher. Heat 2 of 3. Lane assignments from Morgantown High School, Gavin Fragel. Lane 2 from Washington, Ishan Haiti. Sam Squires in lane 3. Buchanan Upshur. Ernie Harper in lane 4 from Buffalo High School. Bridgeport's Reese Allen in lane 5. Landon Fowler in lane 6 from Parkersburg South. And then George Washington's Adam Keith in lane 7 and Connor Smith in lane 8 from George Washington.
Sam Squires, lane 3, with a wonderful, wonderful start and pull out from Buchanan Upshur. I'm pretty sure he might be the bobblehead. I think he's the bobblehead. I'm still trying to figure out who the bobblehead is. Might be him.
So Squires in lane 3 in the lead.
But look at that. He's making separation. Let's look at his turn. Dolphin, and let's see how far he goes. He's almost at the halfway pole. That's pretty good, and he's making major separation. And you notice Sam Squires was not seated first in this heat. So he is ready. He came ready and roaring for this.
Squires touches, and he'll bring it home as he makes the turn ahead of lane 4's Ernie Harper from Buffalo High School. Harper in second barely. As Squires well ahead of the pack. So it's a race for 2 and 3.
Oh, my goodness.
Harper.
That's going to mean that might be good enough for top 3. Oh, my goodness. Reese Allen, did he just get – Reese Allen just out-touched Ernie Harper. Wow, what a great – Reese Allen needed that again. Bridgeport, look at that name again. Bridgeport right there, really turning it up. But what's really great about Sam Squires, that 102.99, that might get him third place. Third place. What a great swim, and I'm pretty sure it's the bobblehead picture.
As we look at the finish – strong finish there from Squires, and then that 2-3.
And just being tall really helps because you can just throw your arms out because if you're 6 feet tall, you got a lot more to push yourself forward. What a great finish.
Heat 3 in lane 1, George Washington's Landon Bostick. In lane 2, Parkersburg, Ian Sasson. Brian Go from Notre Dame High School in lane 3. In lane 4, Bridgeport's Luke Penty. Ian Adler, George Washington High School in lane 5. Ethan Roby from Brook in lane 6. Isaac McCabe in lane 7 from Wheeling Park.
Let's look at Luke
in
Penty.
lane 8, Matthew Smith, Charleston Catholic.
It's gonna be that turn. Who gets it off that turn? And he just gets him this time.
Penty in
But
lane 4.
there are 3 turns to go.
Adler
3
in
turns.
lane 5.
Look at the way they're moving. They are moving neck to neck. Here it is. Right there. And just that turn, just that little elbow squeeze got him. But look at lane 1. Lane 1 is roaring in. Landon Bostich at George Washington is coming on strong. But look at Luke Penty.
Penty touches.
Look at this. It's going to come down to this turn. This is why turns are important, everyone.
Penty and Adler.
Penty, oh my goodness. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Come on. And it's really who finishes last. Who gets it?
It looks like
Ian Adler of George Washington.
59-34.
59-38. What an amazing swim. And Sam Squires from the previous heat actually finished 4th in this one. But man, what?
Look at the replay here.
Look at this.
And
Look at this.
Neck to neck.
Neck to neck. Now,
Adler.
What may have caused Adler to go it? Look at how high his head position is. Look at how low his head position is. That little adjustment of the head position was what done it at the race, because instead of going so high and so low and so medium, that's what kind of did it at the end. But still, what a great race from Adler.
59-38. Ian Adler, George Washington High School, and there's that individual state championship that you were talking about for George Washington. They could beat you without getting one. They just got one.
They did. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should stop saying these things, because I guess maybe they put that on their bulletin board. But none of them were seated that way. I just go by the times that I get. None of them were seated first. But again, this is why you settle things in the pool and not on seed times. But man, what a great swim! 0.02 of a second. 0.02 of a second separating the breaststroke, which again, every little bit helps. Every little bit of the body position helps. Every little bit of turn helps. Just all of these things help. Just what a great race.
So George Washington's Ian Adler turned in a time of 102.21 in regionals, improved on that with a 59-38 here in the state championships.
That's a 3.
Takes the title in the 100-yard breaststroke.
Again, it's just whenever you are chasing a title, 3 second drops don't seem like much. For everyone else, a 3-second drop is like, sometimes takes you all season. But something happens. I don't know what it is. I've seen it many a state meet that just whenever you are just chasing first or second place, you just find that little extra that you need to make sure that your team does finish on top. So I do think here we're getting ready to start the 400 freestyle relay. I think that a record could be broken here today. I think. The
record right now stands back in 2009. Parkersburg High School, 3:19:02.
And this is Tim Phillips. That was the year of the full body suits, and Tim Phillips, I think he got like a 45 or something, a time so low at the end of that. So, but 3:19:02. But look, Bridgeport was close at 3:19:05. But I'm thinking that we might be able to see that record broken today. Because again, Marcel Rodriguez replaces one of them, and that's about a 15-second drop
on Bridgeport's
time. Yep. So it's about a 15-second difference from a 107 to about a 52 that Marcel has. So 15 seconds could get them close to about that 3:17 that they're going to need.
So in heat number 1, lane assignments in lane 2, Spring Valley, lane 3, Martinsburg, lane 4, Parkersburg South, lane 5 would be Huntington, Morgantown in lane 6, and Sissonville in lane 7 as they enter the water here for heat number 1 of the 400-yard freestyle relay.
Here it goes.
Last event for the boys state championships. And leading out in lane 5. Here in heat number 1 will be Huntington.
Now, here's the thing about the 400 free relay is that it can be very deceiving at times. Sometimes you will have a half a body length ahead, and then your anchor comes in, and then with one dive and a couple strokes, it closes the gap. So this is a deceiving. You can see it from your stand. You can see, oh my goodness, I have such a big lead, and it could evaporate. Big leads evaporate pretty quick in the 400 started freestyle relay. But Huntington's Luke Atkins, what a great start.
So the second leg in for Huntington into the water.
All right. Let's see if he can keep it up. Again, the second leg is typically where you put your weaker swimmer. So this is where they attack. Notice in lane 4 in Parkersburg South, that's a name we talked about before. Parkersburg South is gaining a little bit on Huntington.
Second leg for the Highlanders as they lead in this first heat of 3 in the 400-yard freestyle relay. The final event here in the morning session for the boys.
You want them to kick. You got to make sure you're kicking the full time. Huntington's really trolling on. That guy, the second relay leg of Huntington, he's really all about guts right now. He's starting to lose the lead, but he does not want to let his relay down. Can he hold on just long enough to win here?
And coming on strong in lane 4 is Parkersburg South, Andrew Kirk. That second leg trying to overtake Huntington's Owen Deutsch.
All right, and then in the third, fourth, and fifth, they're starting to gain a little bit. It's not quite the big lead that they started out with. Oh, my goodness, here it goes.
Scout Arthur into the water for Huntington. Third leg, and just behind him for Parkersburg South will be Alex Lawson.
Oh, that turn. This is why turns are important.
Here comes
that turn. Lawson really gained him on that turn. The Huntington didn't quite have the best turn there, and this is why turns are very important in the freestyle event. If it was a great turn, it would have kept up.
The Parkersburg South will take the lead here in heat number 1 on the third leg.
But don't count anyone out. Again, as I've told you before, leads evaporate pretty fast in the 400-yard freestyle relay. And especially when you put your aces in the hole at the very end, anything could happen.
Parkersburg South continuing to lead and pretty much expand on that lead here in the third leg.
But here it comes.
As the final leg will enter the water.
Parkersburg South comes in.
For the Patriots, Gage Matheny.
All right.
And a good start for Matheny. And in lane 3 in second place.
But look at Huntington. Look at this. Look at this. I told you, leads can evaporate. Leads can happen. Can he keep it up? Can they keep it up? Look at Martinsburg. Martinsburg and Huntington are keeping up. But Huntington.
And Henry Shields in the water for the Highlanders. And watch out.
Can he do it? Can Henry Shields do it? This is why I love the 400.
Shields
no
makes
lead
the
is
turn.
safe. Look at Henry Shields go. Look at it.
And Shields closing in.
Closing in on it. Look at this. It's going to come down to the turn. If he can nail it on the turn, there he goes.
Shields
Henry
and
Shields.
Shields in the lead.
Look at this.
And Huntington High School, Henry Shields will bring it home for the victory here in heat number 1.
And then
3:57.99.
Great swims all around. And like I said, no lead is safe in the 400-yard freestyle relay.
So heat number 2 coming up here in the 400-yard freestyle relay. Lane 2 will be Brook. Lane 3, Elkins. Jefferson will be in lane 4. Cabell Midland in lane 5. University in lane 6. And in lane 7 will be Wheeling Central. Jefferson with the top time coming in from regionals here in this heat with a time of 3:47.74.
And again, so in this heat, anything can happen. We've seen in previous races they win the heat and they finish third or fourth overall. So it could happen here that the winner of this heat could finish third or fourth. So you're not just racing the person beside you. You're racing
the other 2 heats.
You're racing the other 2 heats, and it's hard to really judge that.
Exactly. Lane 6 at the first touch in the lead. That is University High School.
All right, here we go.
Lane 4 again, Jefferson High School. Nick Lugo, first leg.
What a nice turn. That was a nice turn from Lugo.
Frank McCutcheon in the water for University.
And sometimes the mentality of going from, like, if you're McCutcheon, going from being a distance swimmer to suddenly being at the end trying to sprint your way through. Some distance swimmers can do it, some struggle with it a little bit, but looks like McCutcheon is doing pretty good.
Second leg in the water for University.
All right.
Out in lane 6, still holding a slim lead.
This is Connor Lombard. Here he goes. And again, they're racing each other, but they're also trying to beat the times in the next heat so that way they can finish. They can get the nice little medal. Then get the nice little picture taken for their moms and dads.
Lane 4 and Jefferson takes the lead back.
Ooh.
Nice turn there.
All right.
In second place will be University. In third place in lane 5 right now is Cabell Midland. Followed by lane 7, Wheeling Central.
All right, here's where it's going to start picking up. This is where you put your third and fourth. This is where you start, again, you're trying to get over your fourth best swimmer. That's what you normally put second.
Lane 4, Jefferson High School, into the water.
Jefferson High School is going to probably need in the 3:30s to finish in the second or third. I think that's what they're trying to go for here. They are so far ahead right now. They are definitely trying.
Well, like you said, you never know. It can close quickly.
Absolutely. But let's look at this race for second here. It is heating up.
6. Lane 5 is Cabell Midland. Lane 6, University. Wheeling Central in lane 7. Down here in lane 3 as well is Elkins.
Elkins is picking up steam here. Again, you're just trying to get it to your anchor. And so if you can, whatever little bit you can get, if you can get as much as you can before so that way your anchor can still get plenty more, that's what it's going to take. Let's see what time Jefferson gets. It looks like Jefferson is going to take this heat, but let's see if they're going to be good enough to finish second or third in the next heat. But look at this race here for second.
Jefferson taking away this heat.
All right, so they're at a 3:08 right now. So let's just keep it looking. They probably need closer to a mid 3:30s. But look at this race for second. Again, this is why you put your anchors at the end. Your anchors are the one that knows how to really push it towards the end.
3:47 is what they
Let's look at Elkins. Yes, let's look at Elkins. Let's look at Jefferson. 3:33, wow. 3:32.82.
3:32.82.
They're going for it. That is the relay substitution that Coach Glenn Edwards of Jefferson wants. He wants to go for all the marbles. Now let's look at for second.
Lane 5 and 6.
Like 5 and 6.
5 is Cabell Midland. 6 will be University for 2 and 3. And then in lane 3, Elkins. Take a look at the replay.
Here we go. Again, you just put your workhorses at the end. Lots of kicking. You would most likely like to keep your head down at the end for even more max effort, but good swims by those relay swimmers.
So they turn in for Jefferson 3:32.82. We take a look at heat number 3 in lane 2, Parkersburg. Lane 3 will be Bridgeport. Robert C. Bird in lane 4, George Washington in lane 5, Wheeling Park in lane 6, Hurricane in lane 7. And the top time for this heat in regionals was 3:33.17 by Robert C. Bird, and we just noted Jefferson just turned in a 3:32.
All right, here we go. Watch Bridgeport. I'm telling you, they are in the run for the 400 freestyle relay record. Can they do it?
In lane 3 is Bridgeport. Robert C. Bird in lane 4, just ahead of Bridgeport right now.
Now, Robert C. Bird beat them in regionals, so maybe Robert C. Bird is a little bit more motivated to beat him here. All right.
Make the turn. Still Robert C. Bird out in front, barely
and then you also
over
have
Bridgeport.
And you also have Jefferson that just got a 3:32.82. So You just never know. But look at Bridgeport. They're starting to pull away. You know Robert C. Byrd wants to do it again. They beat him in Region 3. You know you want to. That was a great swim. Look at this. 49s. 49s. That's awesome.
Second leg in the water for Bridgeport and Robert C. Byrd.
I don't think I saw this coming from Robert C. Byrd. This is a very spirited. I thought maybe George Washington would be right up there right now, but maybe they're still coming in. There's still time.
George Washington in third place right now in lane 5.
But Robert C. Byrd really, for the first 2 legs of this, has given it all, especially when I really think that Bridgeport is really close to this record.
Bridgeport now in the lead in lane 3. George Washington coming on in lane 5. Robert C. Byrd in second right now in lane 4. Lane 2 is Parkersburg in that 4th spot as Bridgeport.
Well, Wheeling Park and Hurricane, they don't want you to forget about them either. They're gaining as well. All right, let's hear it goes. Look at Bridgeport starting to do some separation, but can Robert C. Byrd hold off George Washington?
Leg 3 in the water for everyone. Robert C. Byrd in lane 3 with a lead right now. Bridgeport in lane 3.
Yes.
With the lead over Robert C. Byrd in lane 4.
Robert C. Bird's going to need a better turn. On the last turn wasn't the best. There we go. All right. Can Bridgeport do it?
Leg number 3, the final turn.
3:19.02 is what we're looking for. 3:19.02.
And they will be in first place as the final leg will enter the water for Bridgeport. Bruce Keener.
All right, so 2:32.
In the water for the Indians in this 400-yard freestyle relay.
Bruce Keener's going to need about a 46 or 47 to pull this off. He's at a 2:48 right now. That's pretty close. And now Robert C. Byrd, what a spirited swim still. They are still right there.
Robert C. Byrd still in second place, followed by George Washington in lane 5.
All right, it's 3:05. Can they do it? Again, 3:19.02 is the time to beat.
Bruce Keener.
10.
Bringing
it home. Oh, my goodness. Can they do it?
Bruce Keener.
Can they do it?
Bridgeport
They're
High
so
School.
close.
Keener
so close.
Powering into the wall.
Oh! 5/10 of a second.
52.
Oh, my goodness gracious. A half a second off the record. A half a second. But still, what a heck of a swim by Bridgeport. And then
Robert C. Byrd in second. George Washington third. Wheeling Park coming in at fourth. And in lane number 2, Parkersburg will finish ahead of Hurricane. But Bruce Keener powered it home, and man, that was close to breaking the record. 3:19.52. The record was 3:19.02, set by Parkersburg back in 2009.
And let's give kudos to Robert C. Byrd. They came in with a seat time of a 3:33. And so they just dropped about 7-8 seconds in a 400 free relay championship, trying to re-beat the team they beat in regionals. And here's why sometimes it's weird in regionals. You might finish second at regionals and think, oh my goodness gracious, I might finish really far off in states. But sometimes if you finish first and second in your region, you're going to finish first and second at states. And that's what happened right here.
So we'll step aside real quick, and then we'll come back to recap everything here from the morning session, the boys' championship here inside the Aquatic Center at MYLAN Park, the 2021 West Virginia State Swimming Championships right here on Video Productions.
If it looks like an F-150, tows like an F-150, hauls like an F-150, thinks like an F-150, and powers like an F-150, it must be an F-150 hybrid. Introducing the all-new 2021 F-150 Power Boost Hybrid with 570 pound-feet of torque and 12,700 pounds of max available towing.
From the moment you walk into PostNet, we've got your back. From design and printing to shipping and more, whatever you need, we can help. We can bring your projects to life with advice and insight so you never feel like you're going it alone. Help you tackle everything in one place with a one-stop shop for everything from shipping a package to printing your big presentation. Save you time by not only getting the job done right, but also right on time. And all with exceptional PostNet customer service. We're more than just a place to get things done. We're your people.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Welcome back inside the Aquatic Center here at MYLAN Park in Morgantown, West Virginia for the 2021 WVSSAC Boys State Swimming Championships here in the morning session. And what an exciting morning of swimming we had. We started off with the 200-yard medley relay that was won by George Washington High School. So they set the tone early with the victory in the 100 or the 200-yard medley relay, and then we finished in that exciting final relay in that 400-yard relay where Bruce Keener had a day today for Bridgeport. Bridgeport winning that final relay
he absolutely
in almost record time.
Absolutely, yes. And you know what? As good as we think that Bruce Keener did, I bet you that Bruce Keener is going to go home tonight and he's going to be like, why didn't I break the state record? That's going to be the first thing that he's going to say to himself.
Especially when you come that close.
Yes, he's going to be so close. So
you've got the final rundown of the team standings, and I'll turn it over to you to take to let us know who won.
All right, I'm going to go to the top 10. I'm going to give you guys the top 10. So tied for 9th place is Morgantown High School and Hurricane High School with 47 points. And then we also have the guys from Parkersburg South that really killed it on the freestyle today. Keys of the Meat, the one guy that won the 50 and 100-yard freestyle. And Parkersburg South finished 8th at 56 points. Then Parkersburg, really young team, 76 points. Look out for them next year. The boys of Buchanan Upshur narrowly squeezed into the top 5. With 85 points. Wheeling Park High School finished 5th, 87 points. Jefferson High School didn't quite get 2nd, but they do finish with their highest finish in the state championship history. They are 4th place at 99. I am not 100% sure of this, but I'm pretty sure Robert C. Byrd also finished with one of the highest finishes in school history, pretty close to their heydays whenever the state meet first started with Chris Hagedorn. They finished 3rd place in the guys with 105 points. And then Bridgeport, you never like it whenever you have a lot of people out with COVID, but they bounced back today. They finished 2nd place. Bridgeport is your state runner-up, 165 points. And then George Washington High School, they've won 8 of the past 10 state championships. Now they can say 9 out of the past 11. 202 points. Very close race. Only 37 points separated 1st and 2nd. Good job, George Washington High School.
So George Washington, the Patriots of the capital city of Charleston, with the team victory here this morning in the boys session.
And then I also have the all-region team, the top 6 boys. And a lot of them are who I said earlier. So here we go. So in 6th place for the boys, we had Preston Bennett of Buchanan Upshur. What a good meet he had. He was 6th place. Also, Ian Adler, George Washington, 4th place. Also, Frank McCutcheon of University High School. And then, just as we were talking about, Bruce Keener, he is also on the all-region team. He is one of 2 people that won both of their events, along with Henry Shields of Huntington High School. He is also on the all-region team. And then Owen Leary with probably one of the most exciting finishes to get on there. I'm pretty sure if you added them up, it's probably about 0.14 seconds. By 0.14 seconds, he is on the all-region team, winning both the 50 and the 100 from Wheeling Park High School.
So
Owen Leary.
Looks like Owen Leary, Henry Shields, and Bruce Keener all finishing with 32 points here this morning.
Yes.
For that all-region team.
That's correct.
And then Frank McCutcheon with 29 points, as well as Ian Adler with 29 points, and 25 points again for Preston Bennett. So there's the top boys performers of the morning session. And guess what? We get to do all this all over again in the afternoon session when the ladies come into the Aquatic Center here at MYLAN Park. But for this morning, this was a wild ride, and I had a lot of fun.
I did. I had a great time. I'm usually on the pool deck during these, and so being able to sit here, watch it, comment on it, and scream and just be really excited, it's been great. I know there has been a comment. Someone on my Twitter page told me I needed to channel my inner Rowdy Gaines. Rowdy Gaines, if you're around, I'm pretty sure we might be calling the meets the same way together.
There you go. And he was calling the Olympics.
The Olympics for Michael Phelps,
Michael Phelps, so that's who that is. But We had a wonderful time. We hope everybody had a wonderful time watching the Boys State Swim Championships here this morning. If you did, you can come back right here on the same pages, Video Productions Facebook as well as YouTube, also on the NFHS Network site, as well as swimwv.co. We'll be live streaming over there as well. That will start at 3 o'clock this afternoon here inside the Aquatic Center. But for now, for my partner, James Miller, I'm Jack Withrow. Thank you for joining us today. It's George Washington taking the state title here in 2021 of the Boys State Swimming Championships.